Friends, neighbors, country people, lend me your head holes, and welcome to another episode of UST Unexpectedly Serious Turn, our D&D 5e Twitch stream. Today is December 22nd. A lot of people know that is the week of Christmas. We are obviously having an episode today, very exciting, and we will have a very special holiday one-shot tomorrow, which you'll get a little bit more information on later. But we are not going to be having an episode next week, unfortunately, so we will miss all of you very much, but we hope that you have a very happy new year. We will be picking up again on January 5th. That will be our first stream of the new year, 2021. Fingers crossed. Everything goes better that year. And we do... Also, I have a very special announcement for myself. I was... guest star on a wonderful podcast called The Bardic College, which will have some more information in several different places for that if you would like to see it. My episode should be coming up sometime very soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. It's very cool. It's a podcast about DMs and what it's like to DM and all sorts of things like that. Two very cool guys do it. So, and then Suze, I believe you also have a very special announcement.
Hello, friends. I do have something to share with you. I did a small sci-fi audio series that I'm really excited for you guys to check out. It's called Storm Runner. It was written, acted, and produced by me and two other friends, Kevin Wright and Aaron Ding, and we're really proud of it. We would love it if you checked it out. It's this audio story experience we hope that you can enjoy while you're driving or folding laundry or whatever you're doing. So, low stress consumption. And yeah, please enjoy and give us any feedback and put some likes and comments in the YouTube link. Thanks.
That is super exciting, and I know personally I very much am enjoying it. So thank you so much for that. Now, I believe that is everything, so let's get ourselves back into the world of Anna. Upon arriving at Port Cove, the party found themselves talking to two resident heroes and asking what they needed to do and what happened. How could a lantern go missing? Though, through conversations, mostly frustrating for someone in the party, they discovered three very familiar visitors seemed to be responsible for the missing lantern and a very familiar ship. There are heartfelt conversations and some escapades in a tower before they arrive safely in bed at Noble Intentions. And we pick up with y'all finding comfy places to sleep, and Irde getting the most beautiful dagger.
I love my dagger. So much.
So is it the same night or the following morning?
It's if you guys have anything else to do that night, that's up to you, but probably the next morning.
We sleep.
Sleeping is good.
Fen doesn't sleep well. He's a ball of nerves, but...
Well, you are
That's
in Noble
most
Intentions.
of us.
I mean, in your defense, you're in Noble Intentions, and you're 97% sure, probably correctly, that someone's out for your blood.
Mm-hmm.
Have you thought about getting a bigger bed? Always works for me.
Do you need an extra pillow? Is that... No? All right.
No,
Are you two sharing a room?
Yes.
Yes.
You went to sleep.
Oh, that's right, you are.
you went to sleep, and Irde didn't want to be alone. And
that's right.
And Alan's on the floor.
Isn't that
So we're all in the
window.
same room.
Alan, you have your shield cover, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going anywhere without it. That's a bad idea.
All right.
I just need the split room art where it's like one room it's several people sharing, like one guy's on the floor, and then the next room is just the largest bed you've ever seen with a tiny goblin.
It's true, because you got given the permission to use Goliath beds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I took the mattresses off and made a pile.
Mm-hmm.
He's making blanket angels right now in the Goliath bed.
Not a care in the world.
I'm waiting for the day it's the rest of us in one room and then Glib and...
Mm-hmm.
One
It'll
day
happen.
it'll happen.
It'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get there.
I will get up and re-roll all of the scrolls and put them back into the scroll case that were just covering me last night.
Do you have like the reverse of one of the rubbings on your cheek?
There's a big paper crease just across
Oh yeah,
my...
he doesn't have the rubbings. He only has
I have the
Runelite
scrolls.
scrolls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I'll put them
snake.
back into the scroll case and then sling that across my shoulder and then start my morning ritual for an hour. And then once that's over, I'll get up and head downstairs for some food.
When Fen gets up, he's going to pull out one of his own pieces of paper, and he's gonna take a look at the handle of his sword. He's gonna sketch out the handle as best he can, and then it kind of looks like he's making a diagram. The beginnings of like plans and.
Irde will cut her hair and then hold it up and say, "Do you think Sales wants this?"
Probably.
She did mention some. Would I be able? I want to try something at some point. Would it be alright if I snagged a lock of your hair? Just.
Irde will just like hand it to you. I can give Sales some tomorrow.
That's fair enough, and I'll take it and I'll do a loose tie on each end and put it in my pouch.
All right. Well,
It's endearing and creepy. All
It's
at the
our
same
primary
time for all
export.
of you.
Eventually, we're all gonna end up with Irde hair in our
I gotta think of
bags.
something. Something to do with it.
I
I'm not
would
gonna
like
lie.
to say,
When I started
Irde-
collecting the hair, I did look up uses for human hair. So there's quite a number of things that we could
That's
do.
why you're the boss. That's why you're
I
our
would like
leader.
to say Irde didn't plan for this. Just for the viewers, this was not my intention. It just ended up happening.
Yeah. For the audience, this is just how D&D works out. Things just
She came in
start
with
happening.
noble intentions, and we made it something else.
Hairy intention.
No, Fen can have my hair,
Fourth
and then
instinct.
I will have more hair for sales tomorrow.
Beautiful. You do come down the stairs and find that you're used to a kind of tavern-esque feel to the dining areas or taverns, the connected food places of Noble Intentions. This is more like a high-class dining room. There's white linen tables, there's plush carpeting, there's chandeliers and candelabras, and everything's very nice. Unfortunately, it does look like some of the Noble Intentions Inn has had a little bit of damage to it, so there's like windows boarded, but they seem to be repairing that very quickly. And there are just a couple of different like wait staff as opposed to the average like warm, friendly bar tavern owner.
As I come down, do I get the feeling that all of the wait staff are kind of just chill, or are they like scared about like the fact that their lantern is gone? Like are they unnerved, or are they just kind of like another Monday? Like
Has the service industry so destroyed them that
Yeah.
they no longer fear the monster?
How much
don't-
life
they
is
don't
left in
fear
their
death.
eyes?
because when we came in yesterday, like my rationale is when we came in yesterday, the clerk at the beginning was kind of just like, oh yeah, of course you can have a room. Like we haven't had visitors
nothing was
in a
wrong.
month. Like nothing weird about that. So like how is everyone else
Go ahead and
doing?
roll me an insight check, if you
Okay.
please, my good sir.
That
They
is
really
a,
want the monsters to destroy the building.
it's a big old 6.
They're waiting
for me.
for it.
Oh,
They've been trying to bait them.
They are very well trained. They seem to be creatures of precision, and
Okay.
through that precision, you see nothing.
Cool.
Yeah,
Dope.
So they're stoned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they are
Lots of drugs
creatures
in the
of
back room.
precision.
I mean, if you had monsters attacking, wouldn't you get stoned too?
Probably.
I
I'm
mean,
not
I
gonna lie.
really just
I
want to know
mean-
what kind of flowers they're using for their tea.
Oh
Because
god.
ours didn't work, so I
That is.
Oh,
need
yeah,
to look
is
somewhere
there-
else.
Is there a
Because yours
selection of
was made
herbal tea?
Monster goo.
I try so hard not to blow out the
Monster.
mic. I really do.
And we fail entirely. Anyway,
Before sales goes down, What is not nailed down in their room?
As usual, you find the beautiful selection of soaps. You find the makeup remover wipes and things like that. Soap.
There are makeup remover wipes in this world?
Absolutely,
Excellent.
At least
there
with the
are,
noble intentions.
especially for Lady Conviction. This is Lady Conviction's establishment.
Lady
There is-
Conviction isn't actually a blue-skinned tiefling. She's actually red-skinned. She just has all.
She's a
She's
lot
just
of
human.
makeup.
She's got a really regimented morning routine.
People
She
have
spends a
thought
lot
about
of time
that.
at Ben Nye.
People have thought about that before, and if it wasn't for Lord Courtesy, they would genuinely believe it. But Lord Courtesy is very low maintenance. That's not true at all, actually. But yes, there's makeup remover wipes. There's the average everyday myths of the local gods. There is
Salt and pepper shakers.
salt and pepper shakers
the
are
room?
downstairs.
Gotta replace the one she gave to me.
Hey, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta go down
Sailsaba
to
will
the
take
dining
her
room for
copy
those.
of Myth and
Yes.
put it in her pack.
I will get you the list of what those myths
Yay!
are. They do seem to be predominantly Lythun and Spiru again, but probably
I'm
different
very
ones you assume.
curious for the moment that Sales reaches carrying capacity because she has like a library.
Outside the dining room, as we're coming down, I'm just kind of look at my boots and at this plush carpet, and kind of look at Fen and be like, Fen, I don't know about this, man.
You feel underdressed too.
Does Silas is Silas here yet?
I came downstairs early and just sat in the dining room.
Silas, can you prestidigitate the
What?
dirt?
Oh, good morning.
Oh yeah, can you like clean my boots? That'd be really. I don't want to track mud in here, and
Into
it's
the-
just.
Sure. I will walk up and wave my hand, and the dirt just sifts off your boots.
Things you never knew you needed. That's so cool.
Prestidigitation's a miracle.
Do you need a workshop shower?
Yes.
Yes.
please.
Yes.
I clean them completely and make them smell like roses and cedar.
So now we've all showered together. So now we can get breakfast.
I wish you wouldn't say it like that, but yes.
Is there
also
a
showers in your
conventional wash
rooms,
basin
but-
in the room, I imagine?
I think I was fairly clean, but no.
I made use of it this morning. I don't know why you all didn't, but that's fine.
It was
Oh,
just,
no,
I
I-
just meant the boots.
But it never hurts to shower twice, you know? I mean, you can always be more clean.
Well, your skin gets dry and everything like that, which is
Oh,
not
that's
great.
silly.
Oh, that's true.
Um,
Is
uh,
my skin dry?
It makes your hair brittle.
yeah, it's true.
Oh my god.
It depends on
I'm-
the kind of soap.
I want to grab Fen, and I would say, those rubbings that you made. I was in a bit of a fugue state when you were doing it at the Giants camp.
I'm terribly sorry, Silas. Yes, I've been distracted myself lately. I'm not
it's
feeling.
fine.
Yeah, I'm not feeling quite like me lately. But yes, and I'm gonna pull out all of the rubbings that we took at the giant ruins, and I'm gonna hand them over.
I just want to take them and spread them out on like the largest table that I can find. And do they look like a language, or are they just rune and like carvings?
They look a lot like runes similar to what Fen is now starting to use.
Okay.
In his stuff. It does look like some of them could have been arcane. Some of them are hard to decipher because they do have the sort of symbol stuff that the pictorial
Right.
kind of carved over top of them, which interrupts. So you don't know if they went over a line or there's no line, and there's things that look really similar, but you can't really tell because there's like one line apart. Yeah.
Can I take a can I cast minor illusion on the lower portions that were carved over and light them up, like make lights appear where those areas are, so I can more easily separate out like the arcane runes from whatever the interruptions were.
You can certainly try.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, sorry, not minor illusion. Prestidigitation.
Yeah.
Don't know why I said minor illusion.
You can certainly try. I think I'll let you roll for it, but that's probably going to be something that would be pretty difficult to differentiate.
What shall I roll?
Yeah, prestidigitation does the lights, doesn't it?
It can make like a symbol across an area, which is kind of what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I feel like
Silas just needs a highlighter.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up a thing to just straight up look at what things even exist. I would Arcana.
Arcana?
I'll go with
I
an
can do that.
Arcana check for you.
That's a natural 20.
Oh goodness.
Oh.
Yeah, you managed to differentiate it. And they do.
First roll of the game too.
Woo!
Yep.
Nice. They
It
look
breaks
like what you
apart
can.
3D chess.
Yeah. I see everything.
It looks a little bit like what you would assume would be like a variant of known protection runes or things like that. Also like I said, the runes that he's learning to use on his swords to create these sort of extra oomph to things. Some of them seem to be like religious runes to venerate the gods. That's most of what you see.
Okay. But it doesn't look like a language. Like if I sat down and cast comprehend languages, it wouldn't like reveal anything.
It wouldn't necessarily give you a language so much. That would be more likely to be used on the scrolls themselves.
So these are like just abjurative and prayer wheels, basically.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Little
Dope.
things that you assume were meant for protecting the town.
Okay.
Fen will point out the different pictograms to Silas. A few of these, you were kind of out of it when we were at the ruin, but a few of these, do these look familiar to you?
Can I take another crack at them? At the serpentine boys with a fresh set of eyes?
Sure. I'll let you roll me. I'll let you choose between nature, history, or or religion.
I was gonna say it's the same roll for all of them, but that is a what should I do? Nature or history?
Nature, history, or religion.
I'll take history for a 24, Alex.
Very nice.
Damn.
They don't mean anything historically that you can think of. They don't resonate in history, but they do sort of resonate with your specific history. You almost feel like if someone was trying to draw the monsters at the end of the world, this might be what they looked like if they were being carved in some way, shape, or form.
All right.
When we saw the carvings originally, did it look like this was recent graffiti, or was there some like weathering on these carvings?
Everything there looked very old.
Okay.
Everything there looked
including
very old.
these interruptions.
Yeah.
So definitely
at least
weathered,
as far as
yeah.
you can tell. Yeah.
This is yes. I seem to recognize something. This is wonderful. As bad as that sounds, but this means that these things aren't immaterial right now. They someone in the past, whether they be giant or whether they be smaller humanoids, knew of these creatures and put them in stone.
So we can find the information on how to kill them.
There must be something that exists. There must be a reason why they are no longer here, and they have already been, or at least have already been thought of.
Well, I mean, don't take this the wrong way, Silas, but that could also, I mean, somebody else could have just had a vision of them too.
It's a very good point.
It's also possible if they already exist and are being held in some way, and someone could, whatever causes them to be released, and then that's where your vision comes in. So they may be existing and being controlled now, but not for future. All of these, of course.
That's very fair. That's a good point. Thank you.
But it does mean that we're not looking at a tomorrow time frame necessarily, right? If this society that is now dead and gone saw them too, we may still have quite a bit of time.
That's true.
Or in all the time that they had, they didn't get much farther than we did. Not to be a
Damn.
downer this early in the morning.
Not wrong though.
There
But
are lots of
alternatively,
unknowns.
perhaps it just means that they're cyclical. Like, it seemed like the end of the world to you. Not to, delegitimize your experience, but perhaps it means that it's on a smaller scale.
What if it's
Some
the end
kind
of
of-
our world? It's a cleansing.
Some kind of Ouroboros or something.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
It's a cycle.
I don't know a lot about the civilization that we stumbled across in the forest, but the rest of the world persists. I mean, I guess there's that.
There are some flowers that only bloom after a fire.
A nice way to look at
Can
it.
I roll a perception check real quick? Or not necessarily basically like a perception check, because I didn't realize that Aim and Sails had come downstairs, so I want to see if Fen makes the realization
the
like, oh crap, they're
utmost-
here. Like, oh god, where did you
Can
come
we
from?
both roll stealth? Can we just try to? We'll do that thing where we come up behind you in the dining room and we join the conversation with standing
Oh, yes, that's
directly
a very
behind
good point.
Fen.
I love this. I want to do this.
Honestly, yeah. Go ahead and roll stealth. I would say, Fen, you would actually have to take your passive. Because
Oh,
you wouldn't
yeah,
be paying
absolutely.
attention for people you were in a conversation.
So DC's 12, guys.
Oh, I was so close. 11. I'll kill
Oh my
Aw.
god, Aim!
I know. I don't. It's early.
Not as
Sales.
You can't be a rogue in the morning.
I was
what?
halfway there, but then I realized I wanted to talk to one of the waitstaff about herbal tea.
22.
22.
Momentarily lost track of what I was doing.
So Aim, you get distracted halfway to sneaking up, and you're like, "This is a great idea." Oh wait, there's herbal
Story
tea.
of my life.
Sales, you are the night. It is the daytime, and you are the night. You
You'd think that would
sneak
make
up.
us stick out a bit, but no.
Yeah, a little bit.
You would think, but
Dark
no.
You are
the
walking
day.
veil
Oh,
of
no.
darkness.
One cat-shaped area of darkness.
Yeah,
I wonder
like,
what that could
you-
be.
I mean,
You-
to be fair, that is some cats.
You are
That's
hidden
true.
from the world. Yeah, like you know exactly where to stand. That no one sees you until you decide that you are going to be seen.
Aym'Bryn, where did sales go?
Flowers.
You-
Oh
she was
god.
here until just a moment ago.
Oh, that's concerning.
Somewhere in the corner, there's a cat-shaped statue.
Here's a ghost cat.
And I love how we chose the largest table in the dining room, but I don't think anybody's eating. So Glib just comes up with a big tray of food. He's like, "Oh, hey guys, that's good."
Honestly, I would like food. I would like breakfast. Silas, you should eat.
It's
And
I'm
the
just going to.
continental
I'm going to eat a
breakfast
good
situation
berry.
with the noble
At some
intentions.
point, the wait staff does walk up and try to take your order, and they're just like, "What? This is just. I'm gonna just."
Could I have coffee, please?
Yeah, like a Goliath thing of coffee, please.
Of
Just
course,
normal-
miss. Of course, miss.
Oh, you guys have coffee? I'd love some coffee.
No,
I don't know if we should. No, I don't know.
Similarly,
if that's a
a
good idea.
Goliath size for the.
I believe.
Glib.
Oh no.
Just a halfling size.
At that point, Glib could maybe take a bath in it.
Get that caffeine directly into my bloodstream.
Oh no.
I'm confident that's how it works.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No. No.
In vitro
no.
coffee.
Yeah, at some point you are given food and coffee and probably just a carafe of coffee and several mugs to kind of
Thank you.
dole out as you wish. And
Then nods to the wait staff.
and you're used to noble intentions being nice enough. This is very nice, even for that.
The front desk staff of the noble intentions. They're usually there's always a ghost, and then there's a receptionist, and there's a person from this party for each branch. Are these all people who are imported? Are the waitstaff local hires? Are the receptionists? I guess.
Not
that's
a
what
hey,
I'm
bro.
ask.
You'd have to ask. I will give you an investigation check if you want to see if you can get that out of a waitstaff.
I make an
What
argument
is,
for
the
persuasion.
child economy?
What was that?
Huh?
I didn't hear Amanda or Liz there for
Oh,
some
I-
reason.
Was saying silly stuff, so
Oh.
the best kind.
Oh, I was just saying if I'm going to try to convince someone to tell me something, could I persuade them rather than
You can
investigate?
absolutely use a persuasion check instead of a...
Today's going to be the day I'm just going to make a lot of checks so that hopefully some of them won't be awful. But this one was. Someone would like to help me out, as I'm on a rolling 3s today. That's
Oh,
7.
no.
Can we get brand new dice?
Not as charming as I thought I would.
Happy Hanukkah
No.
will get you new dice.
No, Liz. Fourth instinct. Not 3.
Unfortunately, Aym'Bryn is particularly evasive during this questioning, and gets someone equally evasive back.
She's talking
Can
to
I
Edward
hear
again?
that conversation?
Edward was.
Can I hear that conversation? Because dodge.
If you, I am here for
It becomes misconstrued. Like I'm kind of a sort of sidle up to one of them. So I was just wondering, well, are you around from here originally?
The Noble Intentions has only become open rather recently, sir.
And
They're all-
you came with the building, or
Well, the building didn't really come with anyone, sir.
I'm trying to do a seven's amount of investigation.
You can investigate really well, but it
Yes, thank you. I'll just
sketchy.
show myself out. I'll just show myself out.
Are you one
Thank
of them
you. It was
hotel
lovely.
golems?
As you're walking by, Eddie's like, not that guy. Not that guy.
Not that guy.
He
I already
walks
tried
right
to
between
find
us.
that guy.
Speaking,
How are you
speaking
today?
of
I'm
Not
trying to
that
find
guy.
it.
speaking of Eddie and Ipe, I want to send
Is that
Moogie. Ede. I want to send Moogie on a flight pattern outside, and I want her to let me know if she sees Edward still taking his rounds, or Ipe has taken over, or whenever she sees somebody.
It does appear that Ipe has taken over at this point.
Okay.
Probably. You assume at some point, if he was night shift, she gets day shift.
Right.
So,
He needs to sleep eventually.
At
Right.
some point,
Yeah.
probably.
so do we want to take a look at that tower?
Well, in all seriousness, I have kind of ruined it myself, but I am interested to know what the staff of this hotel might have to say about the only other visitors they've had in some time.
I was curious about that as well, actually.
Someone other than I'm all
Um,
mouth sums today. I don't know.
I'm gonna.
Well,
I'll go talk to Zakir at the desk. Then I'll see
yes.
if
I can go with you if you would like.
I would love
What was
that
her name?
actually. Zakir, I believe. It was.
Zakira? Is
Yes.
it Zakira or Zakira?
Zakira. And I
Zakira,
can
thank
actually... I will post...
I'm very
Paste.
certain I spelled it wrong, but at least I can pronounce it right for.
Yeah.
I will paste her full name, even though you guys don't know it, but I have it written down in the full name, so you get
The
to look.
metagame.
Silas didn't even ask.
So
That's we're pretty good about that though.
we should find out about the people who fled the town a month ago.
Yeah, when
All right.
my father and it was Captain Kieran, I believe Ellen said yesterday, when they worked together to steal the lantern.
But Kieran never came into the
No.
the village.
No.
No, stayed
yeah,
on
But
the boat.
but your father did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
Riven
Bye.
and Edward. Other Edward, not that guy. Who's not that
Riven.
guy.
Not that guy. Yeah.
Not
Riven,
that
the
guy.
other
Maybe,
Edward.
maybe Edward is that guy.
I
My
really
God,
hope
Edward
this
is not that
Edward
guy.
is
Maybe
that
this
guy.
Edward is that
Specifically
guy.
said he's not that guy.
No,
I know,
no.
but
Did
so-
we ever
No,
insight
the
check
other one,
that?
the other one.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the other Edward, the one that is with.
Oh, the other Edward is that. Okay.
Is
I
that guy? If
understand.
this
We're
one
hoping.
isn't, then that one might be.
Yes.
Sev-
Okay, I understand.
Yes.
Old
Seven's
fashioned,
Edward
thank you.
might be that guy. Kohov Edward, not that guy. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
Maybe that-
Sales was the person who was looking for that guy, Edward. Did they seem like a nice person? I don't imagine you take commissions from unpleasant people.
Oh,
At
I
least
take
not my
many
experience.
commissions from unpleasant
Oh,
people.
never mind then. Well,
Yeah,
how pleasant
She
was
did
this?
take a
just
commission
look
for the
around.
boss.
Fair enough. I mean,
Aym'Bryn, I must say, if Sailsaba is the cheapest PI and attracts all sorts.
No, that's very fair.
Sometimes-
That's very fair. But that's just
sometimes.
what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did his partner seem like a nice person?
Who would a nice person be?
I just...
You don't look at me,
seem
I don't know.
like they would doom a town to constant assault by monsters. I don't know.
Well, I know a lot about being attacked by monsters. And the person who asked me was more of a monster himself in that he was slighted by another mate and was very distressed. I think usually they might have been a nice person, but in that moment, they were not very nice.
That is fair.
As then I wonder if this Edward is not our Edward, but it just occurred to me that in the however likely event that were our Edward, we could go back to Danceville and ask his husband.
How strange that there are 3 Edwards. That's such a rare name.
It's such a rare name, and we found half of the Edwards in the entire continent.
I'm fairly certain we might have found all of them, actually.
That's also possible.
3
Well, then by process of
if-
elimination, this is the one.
What if the Edward that stole the lantern is
I feel like it's
an
just like,
evil version of the Edward here?
We just need to play like the game with the 3 cups with the ball under it, and you have to find it. Just switching around the cups, and when you find the right one, that's where you find
That's the Edward. That's that guy.
We just put
that's
Edward
that
under
guy,
a cup and then
All
move.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I
Let me
clear
look
off
at
all of
orange
my
spot.
papers.
All right.
I clear off all the papers off the table, and I will give the rubbings back to Fen, and I'll say,
we're idiots.
Oh no, those were for you.
Oh.
I got those specifically for you. Those are yours.
I will roll them up and put them in a scroll case that you gave me.
I will go talk to. Shall we go talk to Zakira?
Sure, absolutely. Yes, of course.
So I eat the good berry, and it's just a very, really, really, really good berry because the magic has been lost on it.
Silas, eat food.
So
Silas, eat
I
You
order
were
some
all
food
given
as well.
like plates of eggs,
Great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
bacon, and fruit.
Just need to eat.
I try, and the magic
know.
fails me.
Once again, I didn't mean to be the mom friend.
Eggs, bacon, and fruit were laid in front of all
Depending if Silas is facing towards or away Sailsaba, he will have a good berry, which she did cast last night, thrown at him. Depending on whether he's looking at her or not, he may catch it or get a berry in the head.
I will leave that entirely up to
He'll
Although,
die.
are you still stealth? Because if
Yeah,
you
what-
are, then a berry just hits his head.
Sneak attack damage.
It's one
I mean, if
one
you
of those
forgot
magic
she was there
rocks.
after she spoke up, then yes, he gets a berry in the head.
Silas.
Oh,
Oh, good, got your attention.
And does
Sends
it
another
kill
one.
him?
can I catch it? I guess.
Not quite.
The second one.
Dexterity check?
Okay. 19 plus something.
Yeah, you catch
I'm
that.
assuming.
You catch it. You catch it, and you're just like, no. You still have a plate of eggs in front of you. If you
Oh
would
no,
rather eat
I wanted to
hot
save that one
instead,
if I could.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, you catch it.
Okay.
Fen and Irde, you walk out into the main hall area, and Zakira is actually at the front desk shuffling some papers with a crown that actually does have the chalkboard this time, but seems to just be tapping it and doesn't actually seem to be writing anything so much as just annoyingly tapping it.
Please remind me, Zakira is the ghost in this?
Zakira is the person.
Gotcha. Cool. That makes sense.
The
I didn't-
living person.
I didn't make a note
she's-
which person was.
Yeah.
Not.
Oh, it's okay.
corporeal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Corman is
Amanda.
Corman is the floating crown with
okay,
the
great. Corman is
chalkboard,
the-
and
The spooky
Zakira
ghost.
is
Mm-hmm.
the half elf actually.
Lovely.
That is
All right.
corporeal.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes.
I was just wondering if we could ask, since you work here and have been, you've been working here for a while, correct?
Since this particular branch opened, yes.
Yes. Well, we'd love to hear your insight about the events about a month ago, with the lantern being stolen and the people who did that. Did you know any? I mean, obviously you didn't know them, but.
They did stay here, though Lady Conviction is very insistent that we keep a privacy of all of our guests, as is only polite.
Thurvan's my father. It's not a privacy issue. It's fine.
I see.
It would be very helpful We only wish to help the town and restore what rightfully belongs to you. Any information you could possibly give us would be most helpful.
Yes. Zakir, you've heard the saying, the sins of the father?
I do very much understand more than
Yeah,
imagine.
apparently I'm cleaning up his mess, so...
And it is very appreciated, and honestly, I wish I could do more for you, but there's only so much I even get as far as information, as you saw last night.
Oh no, yeah, I absolutely understand. My question is more, how long were they here before the lantern disappeared?
Well, it was probably about a week. They stayed for a short while. They seemed genuinely interested in the town and activities. They partook of the spa, as is often the way of things. The one human gentleman he came much later. And he was interesting, to say the least. He seemed to know them and yet not know them necessarily. They spoke a few times in hushed whispers, which I was admittedly curious about, but I'm hardly as subtle as some of the people I am acquainted with. So I wasn't able to really listen in.
You said they seemed very interested in the town. Did you point them in any directions?
Just the average sightseeing, temple worship, a few of the nicer clothiers in town, the spa, as said. There are some lovely floral shops, but we are small and oriented mostly around just beautification.
Of course.
Of course.
From the dining hall, you hear Glib with his mouth half full of eggs. The spa?
Yes, Glib, maybe later. So anyway,
Yes,
there any-
unfortunately, as much as it would be nice to have rainbow pools open, it has been paused for now.
Of course, I would not blame anyone for that.
I apologize, Irde. I do need to ask one personal question to Zakira. When you said the Thurvan was here a month ago, was there a woman with him? Half-elf, pale.
I was not aware of any women in their party, unfortunately. If he had any guests with him, they certainly did not come through me, nor were they particularly obvious.
That's fine, just trifling matter. So, did they ask any particular questions about the temple?
Not to me, but I'm not particularly, useful for such information.
It wouldn't have seemed very odd anyway. I would imagine it's a tourist spot anyway.
Indeed. 'Tis the only one in the village.
I'm sorry, Irde, I cut you off. By all means.
It's fine, I think. Unless if you think there's anyone we should speak to concerning this who may know more, I appreciate your help.
I apologize. The only people that really seemed to be of any interest for them were, well, no one, honestly. They seemed interested in the temple, but no more so than any other guest or visitor.
And then they kept to themselves, I'm sure.
Indeed. I do wish I could give you more information. It would behoove me as well, obviously.
Of course. No, you've been most helpful, thank you.
Indeed, thank you.
Are they within earshot? Can we mostly overhear their conversation?
I mean, you can roll me a perception check. They're not, like, super close per se, but the doors are
Are you
open.
going
They're
to
not hiding
relay
things.
any of that information to us?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes!
Yeah.
If it helps, you
Always
know
gotta
there's a
check.
spa.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glib.
no,
Glib
we
at the
discussed
very
that
least
before.
has
Yeah,
echolocation
yeah.
for very
He got
specific words.
them big ears.
I have no reason to think Irde wouldn't come and tell you, like, well, this is what we found.
Yeah.
She probably would not say anything about a woman in their party because I think she would pick up on the fact that Fen has a feel about this, and that's Fen's business. But as far as the temple and that, she would absolutely share that.
Yeah.
Did your father have a general interest in temples?
I don't know. I as I told you once, the last time I saw him was the only time I remember meeting him. And
Sure.
when I remember he took my mother. That's it. And she wasn't here. So wherever he took
Sorry
her,
then.
or if he took her, I don't know. But the sooner we find him, the sooner we find the lantern, the sooner I'll find out.
Yeah, about that. Look, man, I've been thinking. I know you want to find him and your mom, if she is still with him. But if this man walked into your town and burnt it to the ground, and then teamed up with pirates to attack a city, I don't know if we're ready for this, man.
Yeah, that makes two of us.
That's the job that we've taken, unfortunately.
No, the job we took was to find out what happened. I mean, they asked us to do something else here, but we never signed up for that. I mean, I'll go with you, but I I have to tell you now, I don't think it's a good idea.
No, I agree. If at any point this looks like a suicide mission, we need to get back up. At the very least, if nothing else, let somebody who might be able to handle it deal with it.
That's what I was going to say. It sounds like people who are perhaps a little better prepared for the situation aren't able to investigate it themselves. So at the least, we could just find the information and then make sure that the people who need it have it. And we might not be
Indeed.
compensated for that time as well as we'd like, but I mean, the resolution is the thing, right? We
No,
can at
you're
least get
right.
it a little bit closer to keep our distance, be smart
Well,
about
I
it.
thought
As long as
recklessly running into danger that we're wildly unprepared for was part of the job.
That's
The idea
Well-
is
Also
to
fair,
run
also
into
fair.
danger we are prepared for,
Yeah.
mostly.
It would be,
I-
it would
I-
be a
I
good
don't
idea
think
to be able
there
to
is
run
a-
out of it again.
oh,
Oh, yeah, we can do
Alan,
that too.
real quick. I'm gonna take the bookcase off of my backpack and hand it to Alan. Believe you wanted this made for one of our friends.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you shouldn't have. I don't have any books.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not for you. I'm sorry. You know what? I'll make you. We'll make you like an extra pillow or something soon. Anyway, Silas.
Out of metal.
Out of metal. It's entirely metal
No,
pillow.
no,
It's
no,
not
no.
great.
We need to make the pillow out of Irde's hair. There we go.
Yeah.
It's coming.
And then we'll stuff it with metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Smiths, you know? I mean, we got
Brings a
it.
whole new
Anyway,
meaning to
so
the term
Silas. Yeah. Silas, I noticed you didn't have any weatherproofing on your books that we could see. So Finn here and I made you some cases to go over them. They're metal to keep water out in there. They're coated with a wax on the inside to kind of seal them. So, you know.
And there's a nice leather padding to keep your books from bursting into flame when they're closed.
Yeah. So, just, you don't have to say anything. I mean, it's just kind of a thing, don't worry about it,
Don't
but,
make it weird.
Don't make it weird, but here you go, it's for you.
Silas takes it and looks at it and kind of runs his fingers over the raven on the front and just says, "Thank you."
Don't make it weird. You're making it weird.
I think Irde's just
You're
full
welcome.
on crying. So
Don't
like,
tell anyone I was nice to you.
I think the rest of the party made it weird before Silus.
Yeah. Me too.
just-
We're over here.
I think maybe
Blood
the
plus
guy.
pansy are done.
I think maybe the guy yelling "Don't make it weird" over and over again
True.
might
the one who
actually
made
be
it
making it weird.
Yeah.
Silas is gonna.
I haven't
Silas is
had a
gonna.
drink yet.
Silas is gonna press it, like not fully attach it to the books, but press his spell book into it, and just carry it and say, I need to find and speak to Ipe. I feel the need to apologize for last night. So I am going to do that, and then I assume we still want to go investigate the tower to
Yes,
glean any information we want from that. And then beyond that, our next move is.
I believe, please, anybody correct me if I'm wrong. Once we check out the tower, I believe we decide our next move there.
Yeah, I say we find out more.
Action.
Indeed.
They did give us a direction, and they gave us an area to investigate. So.
Yes.
Are
give us
there
direction?
any? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, guys.
Oh, I just wanted to ask if Silas, did you want anyone to go with you to talk to Ipe, or are you?
You're all free to come, of course. I just felt the need that I acted out of frustration and instinct last night, and I didn't. I should have listened to my fourth instinct, and remained a bit more calm. So I'd like to go apologize to her. She's as nice as she can be. So.
I'll go with. I'll go with you, Silas.
Is it in our interest to stay together so we can?
I would think yes, especially
Do we
with.
have?
I
Oh,
don't.
go ahead.
I was
I
just
don't
gonna say
mind
with all the
going.
monsters, yeah.
That's true.
I was
We
thinking
don't-
more in the interest of time.
Well, I mean, we could split up, yeah.
I don't know
I
how
mean-
many things we have to do this morning, but it might be most efficient just to stay together, and then as soon as we're finished, we can go.
We can
And I
do what
guess
we need
so.
to do.
I, for
Yeah.
one, gotta go see that tower for the first time. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Oh yes, me too.
Insight check.
Yep.
Insight check. If you two would like to
Come
DM
on.
me whether you're rolling
I am-
perception or
If I roll another
perception.
3, I don't
I'm
know what
very
I'm gonna do.
certain that I absolutely believe everything you say.
My passive is 11. I'm not trying.
Okay, 21.
21.
I rolled a
Deception.
6.
When it's
I rolled
important.
a 4. So yes, I believe you entirely.
You believe them entirely. Glib,
Yep, yes,
what
I
did
do.
you roll?
Have I passed an insight check at any point? Because I don't think I have.
I think you're about to, because I rolled a 5.
Hey.
Oh, hey.
So you guys
So he
believe
knows-
Aym'Bryn. Bryn just 110%. You're like, yeah, it's super believable, that guy. Glib, however, you're like, something shady about that one.
Well,
I'm
that
just gonna.
tracks.
This tracks.
I'm just gonna pat Glib on the head. Buddy,
Where?
what did you find?
Well, we found out roughly the size of what a lantern is, and by we, I mean me. It was the royal we. Man, we've
Oh,
never
Glib,
run
I
into
can't
this-
believe you betrayal just like that.
We've never run into this particular issue before using we.
I've never heard you use
You're gonna commit to it
we-
for the rest of your life.
singular we before.
Well, it's because I'm
Ever.
growing so attached to the party.
So you
He's
decide
comfortable
to
being himself.
use the royal we because you're getting comfortable with us.
Yeah, that's it.
Mm.
Anyhow, me on my own, I did go to the place and took a look, and whatever you do, maybe don't disrespect the lantern spot.
Why would you disrespect a lantern?
I didn't mean to.
Fair enough.
All right.
That tracks, yeah.
I stand and I begin.
Yeah, you make
Leaving.
your way out.
I'm following. I'm going.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did we decide, are we going together?
Yeah, we're
yes, I
we're
think-
sticking together.
Okay.
So we're talking to Ipe first, and then we'll go to the tower right after.
I believe that was the plan. Yeah.
I'm gonna have Moogie guide me from the air, basically to wherever Ipe is, so I can just beeline it straight to her.
Yeah, and I would say she's fairly easy to find because she's walking a very similar path to what Edward was walking yesterday. So at some point she kind of walks towards where the noble intentions is vaguely located in the village, making just general circuits, and you stumble across her.
Good morning.
good morning.
I wanted to apologize for my behavior last night. It was completely out of what should have been. I was frustrated, and there are a lot of things going on concerning that topic that we were discussing last night. So I just want to say that I am quite sorry for my behavior.
Oh, that's very nice of you, actually. But that's totally okay. I completely don't mind. You were just fine. I've felt that before. That frustration makes perfect sense.
It does. But anyway, we are thinking about checking out the tower this morning and trying to do any investigative work around here. Are there any other leads that you might know of? The tower for one, but anything else would be helpful.
Well, if you'd like, I can show you the area where the green lasted the longest. We think that's probably the direction they headed in.
That would be wonderful. Absolutely.
Of course. Edward's sort of sleeping right now, so, Ren? And she pops in a brightly colored bird, pops in next to her, and she says, okay, keep a flight path, and I'll be right back if you need me. Just shout. And, the bird kind of just, like, nods up and down and keeps flying around.
Is this like Moogie Bird?
Yes, this looks to be similar sort of thing to Moogie, very extremely brightly colored. Not
there. So Ren is making a flight path around, and Moogie is on the other side of it. So they're just yin and yanging it with the really brightly colored and the really like stark black.
That's really
yeah,
cute.
the stark black and then the like sharp turquoise and green and purple.
Perfect.
Yeah.
This is the new OTP in this.
Yes.
I am so here for Moogie Ren. Like,
oh, it rolls off the tongue.
Please don't ship my bird.
Too late.
there's
You can
ways.
ship me, but
Fine.
don't ship my bird.
If you shorten it, it's just men.
Or is it Rugi?
Or is it Rugi?
Maybe. No, okay,
And
sorry.
of
Not
course-
shipping a bird, not shipping a bird.
Ship the
But
bird.
see, now
Not a
all I
bird.
have is the song "It's Raining Men" stuck in my head.
Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Neither of them need to poop. There's no reason.
Oh no.
Neither of them are birds.
Yeah.
Neither of them are birds.
I
At some
can't
point,
understand a single thing about them.
at some point, Ipe does try to come and step next to you, Alan, and goes, "I'm really sorry if I upset you last night. I didn't mean to say anything untoward."
Oh no, it's a common misunderstanding. It's I'm not worried about it. You're fine.
Okay.
Thank you for the thought though. It's very caring of you.
Of course. And I think Edward tries to teach me when's the right thing to say the right thing and when it's not the right time to talk. And I think that was one of those times where I maybe should have said less.
Does he step out of the shadows and ask you if you're trying to accomplish a goal?
I was gonna say I don't know. I mean, I don't know that much about you, but I don't know. Like from what I know of him, it kind of seems like you might know better when to say things than he does.
I'm better
So-
at learning when to talk. He's better at telling me how much to talk. It's kind of a balance thing.
That's fair.
Yeah.
We all have a very specific skills in life, and we must learn from each other.
Yeah. Human is both my strong suit and not so much my strong suit. Happens when you're locked up in a convent for most of your life. But anyway, let's go this way.
All right.
Ipe, if I could ask a quick question just while it's on my mind. Was anything else missing from your temple?
Question.
Like, do you remember if anything else was stolen? I mean, from the town at large, but I'm particularly interested to know if anything was misplaced at the temple. Even something small.
There was something. We have a couple of specific memorabilia from Lythun herself. One of them was a small crystal rainbow. That seemed to be missing as well.
And did it have any beyond sentimental significance? Powers or any reason someone might take it other than...
Not really. It's a gift from the gods, which is always important.
Of course,
But
of course.
as you
I'm
said,
sorry.
past sentimentality. It's not particularly magical or imbued or anything. It was just a present from the goddess.
From Lythune, of course. And
Yeah.
How
If you
big
don't
was
mind.
it? How big was it?
Oh, not very large. It was about this big. Definitely pocket-sized, but very pretty. It was unique crystals that you can't really find at all, actually.
In the material plane.
Made.
Could
Silas, you think that might be?
uh,
I'm very sorry, Alan. You go ahead.
Thanks, Glib. I appreciate it. Sorry. You seem to have some magical ability. Silas can generate images. Could you just show me what it looked like?
Let me double check if I can do that, because I forget what my spells are, because
I just start prestidigitating small images of different
like this.
types of crystal
This one?
rainbow.
This one?
No,
This
how about
one?
this one?
This one?
How about this
This
one?
one.
How about this one? This one. This one.
Oh no.
Sailsaba is getting sensory overload from all of these presentations.
All the Sales just like starts swiping at them. It's like,
does she have that?
No, not that one. Okay, okay. How about this one? Nope, not that one. Okay, how about this one?
Ow.
they're bursting into dust across Glib's face.
So she says, well, what I can do is a little bit, I can't actually do that, funny enough, but I can do this. And she casts Major Image, which Silas would recognize.
And massive.
So yeah, she basically makes the table that it was laying on. And she makes this altar in front of you with everything in place, and right in the center is this beautiful multi-crystalled, like, gold inlaid rainbow.
so she created the stand where it was displayed.
Yes.
Are there other artifacts on that display? Like, are there other trinkets or religious items?
Yeah, there seems to be like an incense holder and some plates for like offerings and things like that. There is also a holy symbol for Spiru on the table.
The other things on this table, are they similar? I mean, of course, this particular item is the most valuable, but if I were, say, burglaring this place, does it look like these other things would have been things I would have stuffed into a sack if I was just taking things for monetary value?
If you're just taking things for monetary value, it does look, I mean, gold incense holders are always nice to have.
Okay,
Gold
so
plates. They do look pretty monetary in value, but
I could probably tell at a glance then this was stolen with purpose, either because it's just one small item of possibly the most value, or because that was the only thing that I wanted.
probably
Not me
yeah.
personally. I didn't take it.
But like, if you were,
Everything that comes out of my mouth is incriminating.
Bryn would assume that yes, if
That was
someone
stolen
were trying to
specifically.
steal something
Aym'Bryn pleads the
specifically.
fifth.
Hey, would they have needed a god artifact to keep the lantern going?
Not as far as I'm aware. From everything I understand, the lanterns work perfectly fine on their own.
Huh. Because something like that, I mean, even if it doesn't have any sort of outward special stuff, I mean, that's probably got to be some big mojo. It's created by the gods. I don't know, Silas, you think that might be a spell component?
It could be. Things given by the gods and created or from or of them have their own import, whether or not they show it or not. Certainly could prove to be something, but without the knowledge of the specific spell that they'd be casting or thing that they'd need it for. Hard to say.
The only
Well, I
time
guess we'll
I've
just
really
need
heard
everything
of...
else on the table to make sure then.
And I just want to make absolutely sure that I understand. That went missing around the same time.
Approximately, yes. And
Okay.
it wasn't during the attack, but
But
a
in the
couple
same
of...
window,
Yeah, similar.
not after.
No, it was before.
Okay.
Mm.
Thank you.
And it was made by Lythune, not mortal made, yes?
It was made by Lythune. At least as far as everyone's been told. It seemed very godly, as you can't really find gems like that in nature.
It will be very sad if it is not reunited with Spiru's then.
I quite agree.
Well, we're
So-
here.
Yeah, and
Right.
during all of this, you are walking, and you get to the edge of the forest, and she's just kind of like, "This was the area."
Is it visibly still greener than the other, or is it faded since it's...
It seems to have faded, so you didn't really notice any different colorations. But if you want to roll me investigation check,
I would love to do that, actually.
if anyone wants to roll it, they're perfectly allowed.
Ooh, that
I
is
got
a
a-
23.
Oh, nice.
22.
Natural
11.
failure.
Natural 30?
Natural
Fail.
failure.
And
Oh,
I got an
natural
11,
failure.
yeah.
Okay.
18.
So Irde just like trips and like falls face down. It's like, oh god.
Irde finds a very pretty flower that she is sure is absolutely the thing that needs to be seen.
Irde picks the flower.
So we've got 18, we've got 22, we've got 23, we've got 11,
And a pretty flower.
and a pretty flower.
It's best that I don't roll.
Okay,
sorry.
that's okay.
For
So
everyone's benefit.
and then two people who are.
I talked to a big game
staying.
about raising my averages, but when I know I'm terrible at something, sometimes I'll just leave it to the experts.
That's super fair. Actually, all of you seem to find different, like. You see different things that seem to be trails. Like you see a couple of broken twigs and things like that as it goes forward. You think that there's potentially someone rather clumsy who walked through there.
Has anybody taken this path since the attack?
No
Seems like one of
one's-
them maybe was injured or something, or drunk.
No one left or came. No one has come in or left the village since it happened. So no, other than you, but you came from over there.
Fen, is your father a drunkard, you know?
Not a clue.
The
But
human.
if I'm anything to be, if I'm any example, I mean, he might be.
You said the human, maybe the evil Edward,
Yeah, well,
is...
Call him evil Edward
so
from now on.
from what I will remember his name. From what Fish said, the human was in his area quite frequently. In the
I see.
tavern,
Okay.
quite a lot.
It's a bit deep in the water, we'll say.
He certainly seemed interested. Actually, come to think of it, I do think that some of the sacramental wine was actually also missing.
Can I sit down with my books and cast ritually cast detect magic? So for 10 minutes, just focus on that.
Sure.
Yeah.
As long as everyone's willing to chill out.
Yeah.
How long does
I'll-
it take?
I've got a
10.
spell to do that I'd rather not waste a whole lot of effort on right now. It takes a elongated amount of time, so just 10 minutes. I'll be here. I would like to see something really quick.
Irde is going to walk up to Fen with the flower and hand it to him as a thank you for the dagger.
He takes the flower and he puts it over his ear.
Oh.
What do you think?
I like it.
Fantastic. Fen has now lost words.
Words went bye-bye.
He's just gonna pull his hood down a little bit lower. Glib, where are you?
Yeah? I was just following the trail.
Alright, find anything interesting?
Well, I was gonna see if, because it looks like somebody clumsy went through it, but could that also be somebody who's struggling to carry a heavy weight?
It's true.
Rolled a 23 on investigation.
Yeah, Fen
These-
can't help you with the clumsy. He hasn't had a drink today.
Unfortunate. Honestly, like, you don't necessarily know for sure, but it's definitely possible. You do see some heavier footprints in some places, but you can't really tell if it's clumsy versus heavy. For sure,
That's fair.
for sure.
Yeah, hard to say. It could either be somebody who's just really not much of a walker, or somebody who's carrying something.
Can I give it a look too, just in case, as somebody that's carried really heavy metal objects? Just kind of like pantomime.
For this, I would say probably a survival check.
Okay. What is my...
It's a wisdom skill.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. That is, never mind.
Yeah, you can't.
Oh,
It's
no.
not. I mean, it's been about a month since these tracks were made anyway, so it's not like it's super easy to tell. The fact that you can even tell this much, especially with the amount of monsters and such coming through, fairly impressive, all things considered. So.
Sailsaba will amble over to Aipe and say, "What you did for the Lithuan's crystals, can you do the same to show us what the lamp looks like?
Oh,
We have never seen it. We would like to see it. I would like to see it."
of course.
That'd actually be very helpful.
Let me see how long that spell technically lasts. It's a concentration spell, but it's up to 10 minutes, so it's probably over by now. So she'll make a new one. Yeah, so she will pull out the bit of fleece, and she will... Hold on, sorry, let me go back to where that spell is. She will pull out the bit of fleece, and she will hum a little bit and make a couple of motions with her hands, and in front of you, floating, is a beautiful lantern. It has brass on the top and the bottom, and the brass itself seems to be almost rainbow in color. And it glows this extremely bright light with these vines and flowers kind of crawling across it as though the light itself makes these items. And it's extremely ornate, and it's layered and just all around a very, like, it's kind of rounded in the bulb with a square top and bottom.
Sailsaba will be very happy and then be able to, and will, even though it's a, I'm guessing it's an image that has no like physical touch anything on it. You can't feel it really. It's just an image.
Minor illusion or major.
With major image, I think you can feel the heat and stuff like that of the lantern, but you can't touch it.
Yeah.
So Sailsaba will go and she will put her paws around as if sort of like trying to feel the crevices, trying to become intimately familiar with this, even though it's just an image. And then almost as if she's like measuring the distance, she will put her hands around it and then like, and take it away. And then you can see between her hands where there was nothing, you start to see a couple of sparks, a couple of whiffs as she casts locate object. Trying to find if this lantern is within 1,000 feet of us.
For the shot.
Sorry,
there it
you're
is.
casting.
Oh, they left it.
Problem solved, guys.
Just misplaced all the whole time.
You're casting locate object, you said?
Correct.
You do the magical components and you cast the spell and you reach out with your mind, having nature bring back the information that you crave, and so far nature says nada.
But that's going to be very, very useful when we get a little bit closer.
Yes.
I can only imagine.
Silas speaks up from his books as he's casting the spell. Please keep it up. I'd like to take a look at it in just a moment. So I continue to cast the spell.
And it looks like it matches kind of the size that we would expect from seeing the base.
Sorry, I am getting something real quick. What did you say?
And it looks like it would be matching kind of the size that we would expect it to be based on the base.
Yes, it does look like it would fit pretty much perfectly into that base that you saw.
Like it was
And
made
just
for
based
it.
on the description, it kind of has a vibe like this one is specific to Lythun, and if we saw another lantern, it would have a slight variation on
Slight
this thing.
variation. Yeah, similar
Vines and flowers
similar
and
I would
concept,
assume-
but
I'm gonna guess. I have never seen the lantern in Leosidwen, correct?
probably not, honestly. Big town, and
Yeah.
Elenil is known particularly for order and specifics. So
Would I have seen the Lantern of Zades? just in my studies?
For you, I would say roll me a luck check.
Okay. 12.
Is that... No, wait. The luck check is 2d10. Sorry.
Oh,
Percentage.
my bad.
You're good.
I know luck checks as just a d20 with no modifier.
That's fair. I'm terrible.
82.
82. Yeah, you've definitely... in fact, there's a very high likelihood that you were taken by your master up to see the lantern because the university itself was actually very ingrained with society as a whole, so they had a decent amount of sway over things. So you have probably seen the lantern of Na, of Zades, in person.
Didn't realize Silas had so much clout.
Right? I mean, I did.
It's not me.
He's the oracle.
So, have 10 minutes passed yet?
Yeah, 10 minutes will have passed.
I just want to cast my eyes over the forest there to see if there's any residual, like, just divine magic or anything like that in that general area, or anything interesting.
Ipe lights up like a Christmas tree, but everything else seems to be pretty much chill. You don't see a whole lot going on.
All right. Well, it was worth a shot.
What is the range on a lantern? I grew up in a small village. We were within the lantern light, but I don't know. Nobody's ever told me. What's the range?
Well, it's not super specific. It's kind of based on town to town. This particular one went probably a half a mile to a mile beyond the village limits.
It's good information to have. So, if we decide to go southeast, and we're going to assume that the lantern went southeast for the sake of argument, if we run into an area...
Southwest.
Southwest. I'm terribly sorry. It's been I'm not myself this morning.
I understand.
So if we
you
go...
have mentioned before you did not get enough alcohol.
That too. I'm feeling a bit
should
flustered.
really stock up before we leave.
That's true. We should.
Is there a
we were
brunch
missing
place?
quite a few things.
Is there a brunch place?
Well, there's that tavern that we went to yesterday.
Actually,
I gotta make a quick roll.
yeah, there's also a very lovely restaurant called The Gallery. Tirvold is very sweet.
Fantastic. So if we go southwest and assuming that they just made a beeline in that direction, we run into an area without any monsters, we know we're getting close.
Probably. Also, I mean, you've been into a lantern before, yes? So you know how it kind of feels.
Right.
There's a sort of air around it. You get sort of warm, happy. Or at least I do, but I could be
No,
weird.
it's a pervasive feeling for sure.
And I'm sure, especially with it being Ipe's lantern, we could sense the colors in the area.
Lithoons, but yes.
Lithoons, you know what I mean.
You're good. Just Dad's lantern.
Irde said it right. Amanda did not.
That's fair. It's just, Dad's lantern is a little different.
No, that's fair.
To be fair, I drink a lot of scotch, and that does about the same thing.
Dad's lantern is more disapproving, and that's
a little more reserved.
Dad's lantern.
The forest in this area we've established is pretty dense. It's difficult to travel by anything other than by foot.
Yeah, it's not
Generally.
particularly easy.
About how far, and sorry if this is just a hard question, these logistics questions are the hard ones. How far traveling at a good clip does someone usually make in a day, do you figure?
That is so much math.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to figure out, we're so far behind them that it's very unlikely they've gone in just one direction, but I'm just trying to kind of get an idea of,
If we're going by
As someone
general...
who does it into like dense forest and especially rough terrain, typically like 14 miles is a good day.
Yeah.
On foot. Like for fit people, it's pretty hard.
Yeah, it's 8 hours of travel. You'd probably get about that.
And to be fair, one of them was clearly not fit.
Even if
Or at
we
least not
round
for
it
the
down
first
to
day.
10, that's 300 miles we're behind.
It's a lot of
Is there
distance to
anything?
close.
if I can look at a map.
Again,
Oh!
not to be negative, but
Would
just
you-
kind of adjusting our options.
I'm thinking more instead of following them, because you're right, it would be hard to catch them.
Would you like to look at the map of Tahobat?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up because I intelligently did not open Roll20.
Well, I just
Can I
put
ask
it
a
on Roll20 for you.
Completely unrelated question. Did you
I
say
am
Liaison
getting
when-
there.
Did you what?
Just as a complete aside, did you say Liaison is the city bound to Eleno?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Eleniel
Oh, I
was
missed
the one
that.
who created. That is the. Yeah. Actually,
Is there anything, if we know that they are traveling, or they started traveling southwest,
There's
is there any, we couldn't be able to catch up with them because they're continuing to move,
Well,
and we,
there's-
as you said, are
Theoretically.
a month behind them. Is there any sort of, anything notable, so in that sort of area in the forest, where they may have been headed?
Well,
Yeah.
for sure, there's 2 towns to the southwest.
Can you teleport us? I pay
Oh,
or Edward?
So
Edward.
Edward?
I don't really do teleportation so much. I can make you a really nice house,
That's nice.
but
With-
A tiny hut.
oh no, a mansion actually. But
Oh,
the-
that one. That's fantastic.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Even
But
better.
yeah, neither Edward and I really do.
So is there anything in the forest in that direction, perhaps, where they may have been headed?
Well, I mean, it sort of depends on what their intentions are. There's
Anything notable?
Let me roll her.
Because if we just go in a direction, we could at least see if there's a trail from
Yeah.
there.
Let me roll. History. Ooh, that's.
I mean, we have a
Well,
trail that we could
I'll
start
give that
with.
to her.
Yes.
So there's the land bridge over the waters to Shadowwen, which is a larger town.
Yes.
There's also actually some caves in that area. I don't know a super lot about them, but one of the people I traveled with a long time ago said that there were some, like, something historically important. Sorcerer went on a lot of rampages about things. I don't remember all of them. But yeah, I don't.
I think we should shoot for the cave, because if you're gonna go spelunking, you need a lantern.
That's a very good point.
I fully agree with you, Glib. I think that the caves are a place worth investigating.
Perhaps exploring.
Indeed.
How far are they from the town?
From
Do you know? I'm sorry.
Well, I haven't been there myself, really. I Soul Serene said a lot of stuff.
I understand.
I am not necessarily the best one to ask about that, but I could find a map of the forest in Heroes Hall for you if you'd like.
That would be lovely.
That would be wonderful. Any information we can gather.
Yes.
Sure, of course.
Indeed.
Thank you, Ray.
We may want to, somebody mentioned that the human kept returning to Fish's tavern. Maybe he got
that
a
was
little...
me.
Ah!
Yes, you did.
Sorry, like I said, I'm very distracted
You're
this morning.
not drunk enough, I get it.
Well, two birds then. 2 birds. We go and talk to Fish. You have a drink, and we see if anyone else had a drink, and if he had anything to say while he was drinking.
Maybe he had loose lips.
Sink ships, am I right?
Yeah.
What happened?
You would know. You would know.
Yeah.
Yeah, loose lips sink ships. It's an old saying on our boat.
Could we start walking over there? I think we've dredged up anything we can get from here.
Well,
Yeah.
Well,
I need to sit somewhere for an hour, so wherever we can kind of go and chill. If that's the tower, if that's the tavern, I need a little bit of time.
Yeah, let's investigate the tower, and then we'll
Yes.
ask the rest of our questions, and then I suppose we'll plan from there.
Yeah, of course. I guess I'll lead you to the tower then.
As she's leading us, I do want to ask her. So, from your memory, I know that it's spotty around these three strangers of ours. How were they armed? I'm assuming they were if they were traveling through the forests. Was one of them perhaps magically inclined, did it seem, or did you get a chance to see anything specific?
One of them did seem magically inclined. Not a cleric. I know those pretty well off, but he did seem to be not a bard or a cleric, but magic of some sort. I don't know if it was charisma versus intelligence.
Was this Edward or was this Revan or Thurvan? The drow or the human or the
It was
halfling?
one of the drow. It was the drow.
One of the drow.
There's two drow.
There's the half drow that was very drow for a half drow, and then there was the full drow, which I think it was the full drow. Yeah, I think it was the full drow. I try not to make assumptions.
Of course.
Seems a little rude. And then the other one.
I think in this case you'd be forgiven, Ipe.
Fair. I suppose that's true.
And then usually stereotype.
I think the half drow was more swordy club based, from what I saw. As for
Does that sound like your father then?
Yeah. Yes, that sounds quite. Yes, I can still feel his foot on the side of my head.
Well, then your assumptions there, I pay me. Correct.
Although I would love it if he was a wizard and he just dunked on you that hard being a wizard.
Then we really need to watch out for him.
I feel like a level 20 wizard would easily be able to knock the crap out of a level 1 fighter, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
At level
sub
1,
yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In 17 levels, let's test that, shall we?
We're gonna go find a level 1 fighter to pick on Silus. They're like, this is for every year of my life.
I'll hold him, you punch him.
Silas, why are you? This is the
Don't
Dark Silas.
worry about it. I'm very frustrated right now.
Dark Silas timeline.
Oh God. This is the darkest timeline.
as for the human, I actually didn't see very much about him that would make sense for someone traveling. You're right. That's weird.
It's odd.
Yeah.
Unless he was very good at hiding it.
He didn't seem very good at. This sounds very mean. I don't really like to be mean. I'm gonna be honest, but I don't like to be mean.
They were
fine.
patently bad people.
It's fine. You can be mean in this moment.
He didn't seem very nice at really anything, or very good at really anything. Honestly.
Unless that's
Oh,
what
he must have been
wants
good
to
at
think.
something because they got away with your lantern.
Yeah.
That's true, but if
But
I
it
were
could
to
have been the caster and the.
That's true.
Punchy
Because
person.
the average is what matters.
yeah, I mean, if it were me, I'm gonna be honest. Usually we gave anything we were trying to smuggle to the adorable 2.5 foot tall halfling, because nobody really pays attention to someone who's kid-sized. So the
Yeah,
more
that's
Tall
fair.
guy.
yeah, the more normal you look, the better you are at.
Yeah.
So maybe he was like a savant.
Maybe. It's a possibility. So we get to the tower.
Tower.
I try the door.
Does the door seem locked to us?
It's super locked.
Yeah, the door.
It's definitely not.
I mean, I
locked.
assume so.
The door is locked, and Ipe kind of crinkles their brow and goes,
That definitely wasn't like that yesterday.
I'm just gonna look at Glib, because we were able to tell that something was weird about Glib. Aym'Bryn, I completely trust.
Oh, look at me. I don't lock things.
Can I see the inside of the is there any glass on the inside of the room?
Have we gone in yet?
So like a door.
No,
Yeah.
like is there any glass?
Does Ipe
through
have
the
a
door?
key, or did she
there's like
come
a
unprepared
window-
to unlock this door?
there's a window like in the door.
Okay,
that you
is
can
there any
see.
angle that I could get to where I could see the lock on the inside?
Jam.
Not particularly. It looks like the windows start a little higher up. Ipe goes,
Aym'Bryn.
well, that's a little weird. It was definitely unlocked yesterday. On the plus side, and she pulls out the key.
Oh,
Okay.
perfect.
Strange
Great.
thing.
I was just gonna be like,
Weird.
Aym'Bryn, you're good at opening doors, I think. I don't know.
Occasionally.
Occasionally.
And she just,
You're just really good at locking them.
she did mention she was one of the people who actually had the
Oh,
key.
Bessette.
That's very true. She did.
So,
Just, if they don't keep it locked, I wondered.
Yeah, so she unlocks the door and says, there's nothing to protect any. Okay. Maybe Edward
It's
did
good
it."
habits.
She just puts the key back into a little pouch that she has on her belt and starts leading you up the spiraling staircase.
Alright.
It's definitely cramped as you get to the top of the staircase, and you all filter in around the mount for the lantern, and I think that will bring us to our first break. back, friends, neighbors, country people. Where we left off, our adventurers has just made it up to the tower that had held the lantern after talking about a couple of different things, making some plans, finding out about some possible caves maybe, or a town. Everybody's up in the air. So as you reach the top of the tower, you all crowd into this rather small condensed space with a podium, podium in the middle. Podium's the right word, right?
I believe
Pedestal.
So, yeah.
Pedestal.
That one.
That's the word I'm looking for. P.
We all just went with it.
It's fine. Everything's fine. But
A
yeah,
raised platform of some kind.
A raised platform of some kind in the middle with a little like holding area, and you are free to look around.
Just real quick, are we gonna be here for about an hour?
I believe, yeah,
We could
absolutely.
All right, great.
I don't know if there's an hour's worth of looking.
I'm not sure
around here.
either.
I wonder if it would be
Maybe-
better served at the tavern, since we're going to be speaking with them.
All right.
And we
Should
could
be
probably pick up
lunchtime
some
soon anyway.
supplies for the
That's fair.
for
Have
the
you
road while we're there.
Has Alan brought up why he needs an hour?
Just a small prayer project.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I just gotta sit in one place for an hour, so
Yes.
yeah.
When we
And do it at the tavern. It'll be fine.
Great.
Yeah. I've a quick question. I notice there's some broken glass on the floor here. Was that from the monster attack, or have you been repairing it with every monster attack? Is this new?
No, that's from the previous attack. We haven't really had a lot of time to repair things that aren't super instantaneous. You know.
Can I look around for a projectile of some kind?
Sure. Feel free. That would be an investigation check, my good sir.
Just out of curiosity,
26.
I pay.
Or 24.
Oh, yeah, finish that.
You
Sorry.
don't see anything that seems to be a projectile per se.
I would like. Might I see where the other artifact is kept?
Oh, yeah, that's down in the temple.
Actually, could I look at that?
Yes, of course. Did you?
Sorry, I
wanna-
almost knocked
Oh.
something off my table.
I'll
Glib,
go with you.
Glib, what were you saying?
Oh, just like out of curiosity, is this pedestal, I don't know, magic at all? Or is it just fancy?
Well, it doesn't. I mean, I don't know for sure that it's magical, but it certainly would be holy, hallowed ground, considering it holds a sacred artifact given by the gods and was designed by Leithun herself. She probably at least watches it.
Oh, okay, cool. Good to know.
Why?
I certainly wouldn't recommend sitting on it or occupying its space or anything. That would be ridiculous.
I'm sorry. Who would sit on a holy relics?
I'm not sure, but I'm just saying it would probably
It's just,
not end very
how
well.
often do you get a chance to be a relic, you know?
Well, speaking as a demigod, more often than you'd think, honestly.
Okay, well, not all of us are demigods.
That's fair. But
And
still.
Not all demigods.
Is there a
The-
window with any sort of sunlight bathing the pedestal by any chance?
Yeah, and here during the day you see
Perfectly.
there's a lot of windows
Just
around
like one
you.
shaft.
And the light does sort of come in a sort of golden glow. It seems very much to be distinctly set up to kind of feed off of each other symbiotically.
Sailsaba is very tempted.
Does Sails just want to lay in the sun?
She's just fascinated with this apparently raised and holy site that's just perfect for a catnap in the sun.
I am going to
This
assume at this
temple-
point Irde has left, so she's not going to try to stop you at all.
Yeah.
However,
That's what he was going
well,
with, so if Irde took off, so Fen.
however, with a 31 in insight, Ipe looks at you and goes, "No, I really, I cannot stress enough. I do not suggest pissing off the gods in any way, shape, or form. It's a bad idea. At all."
But,
I
like,
pay,
That would piss them off. I would not
My-
want to do that.
they would be able to tell your intentions, though, right?
Yeah, you'd figure.
I mean,
Yeah, one would assume.
yes, but
Do
at
they
the
care?
same time, disrespecting a holy place tends to, like, doesn't really matter the intention so much as the, like, whole disrespecting the holy place made by a god thing.
Well,
I don't know
argue
much
that
about holiness, but from what I know about the gods, they don't always know what they're doing. So, probably shouldn't. But
Oh,
if this
wait.
was
Do they-
was Hunna, I think Hunna would be okay with me. Probably not
Hunna-
Lithune.
Honestly, Hana probably would, but, like, Lythune... She's known to be fairly forgiving, and from what I understand, she's very sweet and makes wonderful sunflowers. From what I understand.
Hunna would
So-
understand.
Alan, you had something.
Yeah, so I pay.
Yeah.
The lantern you had was given to you by one of the gods, right?
All of the lanterns are supposed to
Sure.
have been made by the gods, yes.
What, and your father is a god.
Yes.
What's to stop him from creating another one? Just for my sake.
Oh
yeah, get a new lantern.
While that sounds lovely, the gods pulled back for a reason, apparently. I don't have a lot of information as to why, but from what Ipe has told me, they try to keep their direct interaction to a minimum for protective purposes.
I've got thoughts on that direct interaction.
Well, I mean, so appearing in body form every once in a while, or like meddling in places, is doable, but the lanterns were a large act meant to last for all of time, and they took quite a lot of creative power. That would draw quite a bit of attention.
From
Just in
what
general.
exactly? I mean, they're the gods, right?
Yeah, they're the gods. I
And-
don't...
Like, what would they be worried about drawing attention from?
That's a good question I didn't really ask. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Just something to think
could
about.
Could we just retcon and say that Irde and Fen haven't left because I feel weird with them just like wandering
Yeah,
off?
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
They started
super
down,
fair.
and then Irde's
I was
mom
like,
sense
you
was
know
like,
what? Nope, hold on.
Someone's gonna
a
do
second.
something
leaving them
I
alone,
feel people
probably.
getting in trouble. I need to go back upstairs.
They're like halfway down the stairs. She's like, no, we gotta go back.
Hold on. No,
And you're telling me
I've
you've
left them
never
alone.
been. You've
sorry,
never
I
been
just
tempted.
actually really wanted. No, it's fine. Keep going. What were you saying, Glib?
And you're telling me you've never ever been tempted to sit on this pedestal?
There's usually a lantern on it.
I mean, yeah, also, like, very few people are even allowed up here, usually, and also it's a holy place, so not really. I don't know how many holy places you've been into, but usually they frown on...
Desecrating
One.
altars?
Yeah! I mean,
Uh,
We say desecrate. I
think
really think that comes back to
decorating.
intent.
with
Not
your...
desecrating.
with your
Um,
behind, a tuchus is not so much decoration, from my experience.
You haven't seen mine.
That is very fair. I'm sure it is a lovely work of art.
Glib.
Question, DM.
Yes.
With that 24 in investigation, I can roll a different one if you want. How big is the hole in the glass, or is it just all shattered out, or like what are the details around that?
I'll let the 24 carry. It does look like it was broken in. You don't see a whole lot left in the glass itself. You don't necessarily, like, in the window itself. It's just a few jagged shards that remain.
Okay. So most of the window is bashed in.
Yes.
And then how big is the window?
Floor to ceiling. But not particularly too wide. You'd assume it'd probably be like maybe 4 or so feet wide and then 6 or so feet high.
And then can I look
outside, like just lean my head out of the window and maybe have Moogie fly over and help me to see if there's any kind of climbing implement, like pythons or any similar things that would be somebody climbing upward and then breaking in through the window.
Go ahead and make an investigation. Yeah. Perception.
Can I have advantage because Moogie is helping me?
Yes, you can.
And also, you know so much about pythons from Glib.
Not bad.
Yeah.
That's a 16 and a 1, so that's a 22.
We've cut so much Python content, you don't even know.
There's so much Python content. You are avidly aware of pythons because of the hyper-fixated python fan that exists in your presence and vicinity most of the time. You do not see anything that looks like holes from a python or anything like that. You do, however, know of specifically one person that could climb a wall, like in your own party, that could climb a wall without needing any
Right, we
climbing
talked
equipment.
about that last week. Or they talked about it last week. I wasn't there for that. So
You
yeah.
weren't there for that. Yeah.
Right.
Like there
So.
are ways to climb a
Spooter climb might have
yeah.
been made use of.
correct.
Sailsaba will look towards Aym'Bryn and say, "Top assistant."
Yes.
Come here.
Wait, you're the leader?
Oh, absolutely.
Undoubtedly.
That's why she should be on the pedestal.
Yeah.
Who
this
did you
is
think was
true.
the leader?
Boss, did you need a distraction?
No, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't entirely sure. I kind of thought Irde maybe?
Well, she is
That's fair.
probably the most mature of us, but
You're
More
just
of a
like,
more of a humanoid resources.
yes.
I tend to
but
take up the rear.
Right, but you're
I would say-
the strong base that we build ourselves upon.
Yeah.
I am the pedestal. Oh, did not see myself like that.
Oh no.
Your metaphors are weird. Anyways,
Apologies.
top assistant,
Yes.
give me with your hands the size of that rainbow crystal for me.
Oh, all right. I'll hold up.
Sailsaba
I'll
will
look
place
to
her paws
Ayape like, huh?
around Aym'Bryn's hands and concentrate very, very hard. There's some wind, the wind kind of seems to still around the area between your hands, and Sailsaba will cast Locate Object on the crystal rainbow, just in case.
Fair enough. And you reach out and nature responds to your call, feeling the sun and the wind and every leaf and creature echoing in your mind, and you get none.
Actually, on that note, I would like to go downstairs to look at where.
Yes, I would
Hi.
absolutely love to take you there if
Thank you.
you all don't mind. I can leave you here if you'd like.
Just for a couple more moments, but I'll be done shortly.
Okay.
You're
I
just,
will
just gonna
join.
like lock eyes with Silas,
Maybe just try.
and locks eyes with Silas, glances at everyone else who's not following her, and just like nods and leaves.
maybe just try really hard not to sit on the pedestal. Okay.
That's what that look meant.
Fair
Silas,
enough.
That's what
I'm
that
gonna,
meant.
I'm gonna stay up there with Silas too.
That's fair enough. I pay is just like
Gonna be a tight.
I don't know if Silas got that, but that was Irde's intention of like, please, Silas, you're gonna stop
we're
them
gonna
from
try-
getting on
We're
the
gonna try
pedestal,
so
right?
hard.
We're going to.
I
yeah,
believe
we'll
in
do
you,
our utmost.
Silas.
and then
What
Silas,
is-
I believe in you.
What is the what is the pedestal made out of?
it seems to be some sort of marble and brass.
Okay, I'm not gonna touch it then. Never mind.
How much would you say it would be worth?
Oh God!
I mean, probably a lot of gold.
As pedestals
dollars,
go.
gold. Yeah.
As far as
Oh,
pedestals,
God.
where are we gonna sell this? Where's the black market for
No,
pedestals?
no. I was thinking Alec can make one. It's got brass on it.
No.
You get the feeling that a pedestal meant to hold a holy artifact made by a god, probably somewhere along the lines of priceless. But
between infinite and priceless
yeah,
in that wheelhouse.
somewhere. Irde and
circle back.
Fen,
Yes.
you are led downstairs by the copper-skinned half-elf who takes you down the stairs into a side chamber where she nods to a pale-skinned, pale-eyed, pale-haired, kind of androgynous, shapeless person, and leads you past them.
Is this person a changeling?
This person would be a changeling, yes.
Was that person there when we came up?
That person is inside of the temple, so no.
Oh, the temple's not at the base of the thing?
It's
They're
connected, but they're separate. Yeah.
Oh.
There's doors.
All right.
Yeah.
So, in the temple.
Yes, and she leads you through the hallways into the main chamber area, and up at the front you do see a altar.
I will approach the altar. I'm assuming like the incense is still there.
It looks as though things have been kind of placed. Like you do see in places in the temple, there looks like there were things that were damaged, be it from the attack or from the subsequent monster attacks or whatever. There has been damage that happened, but whatever, it seems like everything has been placed back in its spot.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you mentioned that this relic went missing before the lantern did. How many days prior? And I assume that our group of suspects were still here in town when these items went missing.
Let me go get Bo real quick. It'll be a lot easier
yes.
to answer your questions that way.
And she walks walks the changeling with her, and the changeling goes, "Yes, hello. How may I help you?"
We were just wondering, obviously this relic went missing as well as the lantern, but what other relics went missing, and how many days before the lantern went missing did these go missing? And was the group that we suspect of doing this still in town when this happened?
It was approximately 2 days before the lantern went missing that this particular artifact, I assume you are talking of the rainbow.
Yes.
The guiding light colors was taken 2 days before the lantern was unfortunately taken. We were in the process of trying to search for our own records in case it had somehow disappeared. I do believe that your people were still in town. In fact, I distinctly remember one of them coming to every daily ceremony we had.
Which one?
Which one was that?
He did not introduce himself to me. But
I'm gonna slowly take off my hood and the glasses, trying to keep the flower in my ear. Any resemblance?
No,
Was he a drow or was he human?
he was a drow.
So the other one.
We have a flower in his hair.
Here, let me. And he thinks for. They think for a moment, and their features change to be very sharp, pointed features. There's a long nose, white hair, gray, sharp skin, and sharp, very intelligent and almost cunning eyes, thin lips, a strong jawline. Everything seems to almost be kind of pointed. Like if you were to assume a very emaciated Snape, this would probably look a little bit like that, but with longer white hair, tied back into a ponytail.
Ipe, is this Riven?
I didn't necessarily meet them personally, but I believe it was Riven. It does match the descriptions I've got.
Right, I've never seen Riven, Irde, so I don't know, but that's not my father.
And then
It's good to see one of them.
the face
Yeah, I put my glasses and my hood back up.
You didn't see the other at all, did you?
I did not. Well,
Did you see the human at all?
the human I did have. Actually, all three of them at one point did attend one of our meetings.
If you wouldn't mind, and I hate to abuse your ability in this way, but if you wouldn't mind, I would be interested in seeing what Edward, right? That's his name?
Yes, Edward.
Okay. I would be interested in seeing what Edward looked like, just so we know who we're following.
I cannot guarantee I will get all of the
Of course.
small details perfect, but I will get as close as I remember, of course.
I appreciate that.
And he thinks for a moment, and his head drops. They think for a moment, their head drops down, and they look back up, and you see brown eyes, kind of scraggly brown hair with a small, kind of 5 o'clock shadow type thing. Skin that looks like it was pale at one point, but has probably tanned from sun and other such associations. You see rather bushy eyebrows, but all in all, it looks like someone who hasn't necessarily been the strongest person. They look very nondescript. They don't look like an adventurer or someone who is
Interesting.
great. They look fairly average.
Okay. Looking around at, I guess, the sort of damage that has been, have they cleaned it up at all, or is it?
It looks like they've made a concerted effort to clean up as much as they can, but there's only so much you can do with daily monster attacks.
That is
or
fair.
semi-daily monster attacks.
Well, cleaning up the crime scene seems a little suspicious to me.
Forensics weren't a thing back now.
CSI
Back
co-op.
now.
I'd like to dust their fingerprints.
Now.
Back now.
Totally lost my train of thought. Cool.
Sorry.
You're good.
Choo choo.
And the changeling does pretty quickly shift back.
Yes. All right. There's nothing you'd be able to. They never spoke to you about anything.
No. Unfortunately, they kept mostly to themselves.
You said mostly. Is there anyone that you know of that they did speak to?
Only each other here and there, and even that was rather sparse. I assume, from what parishioners have told me, that at some point the human spoke to fish. He apparently was very common there. Riven at one point did actually approach the altar, and I spoke to him, but he, if that is the person that you mentioned, if he is indeed that, he did not respond. I thought it kind of odd, but sometimes people need to be alone with the gods.
Yes.
Well, that's one way of putting it. Alright.
Can I just look around and see if there's anything? Like, I feel like I'm not gonna find anything, but I want to see if. Look around and see if there's anything that strikes me weird about this place, and not even necessarily just connected to the crime, just connected with the stealing of the thing, but also just in sort of godly power-esque things. Is there anything that feels weird about this place?
Roll me an investigation check.
Not gonna
At advantage.
At advantage.
I will take it.
I will give you advantage.
And I will apparently throw my dice out of the box entirely.
Don't be
Hold on.
mean to it.
I
until
didn't
it's
mean
giving you the
to.
roll.
Okay, that's not bad. That's a 19.
19.
Yeah.
Like on die or after
18
additions?
18 on die plus 1.
Okay. You look around, you are used to being in a temple, a monastery / temple of Na. Na is one of the major gods that has a lot of followers and tends to be a lot brighter and stronger. Lythun is a minor god, and while she does have her own village, which is unique to the minor gods, she doesn't seem to have the same amount of, it doesn't have the same amount of prestige that you're used to seeing and feeling being in a Temple of Na. It's a little bit more humble. It's a little bit more people doing what they can to venerate a goddess that isn't usually the top of the food chain. She is not of the pantheon. She is a minor goddess. Yeah. But you don't see anything weird beyond that. It's just a slightly different feel. It's slightly removed from the power that you're used to.
Back at the tower, DM, given the research that Sailsaba was involved with in her upbringing, would she, given kind of the layout of the tower and how like certain artifacts are placed and carefully put, would she garner any connection between the rainbow and the lantern, in like any connection between them, whether one affected the other, or distance was necessary, or just any connection between the two in the research that she went through?
I will give you a religion or arcana check. I will let you choose between those two.
Both are shit, so let's go. That's a 13.
13. You can't really think of how they would necessarily be connected together. You also don't come from a place that you have a lantern nearby, but you are another one of those people that aren't particularly inside of the lantern so much as just kind of on the outskirts. You don't really super have a connection to kind of grasp onto with that, unfortunately.
I get that.
I don't.
I will give you I'll give you a history check at advantage.
Cool. Also shit. Yay. Oh, well, that was a natural 20. Oh.
Ooh. So, it doesn't make a lot of sense to you, but for some reason, somewhere in the back of your mind, something is brought up, be it a smell or a sound or a taste. You can't really tell for sure, but it's like all of a sudden this flash kind of comes to your mind. And in this flash, it seems like a memory, but you are very small. You are very short. And in the background, there seems to be this cold wind that's blowing. And there's something there, but you don't really know for sure. It's a little dark and fuzzy. But something about this echoes back to something in your past.
Cold wind? All right.
I think we've all taken massive psychic damage and are dead now. But
yeah. That's what's
Irde and Fen. That's what's happening. Like
I
just
will
your
have
bodies
placed
hit
my
the
hand
ground.
upon the altar, and I cast mold earth on it to make a image of Glib's face, Aym'Bryn's face, Sails's face, Alan's face, and my face, all on the dais with a big red circle with a cross through it.
And we all
Are
die.
you actually doing this?
Yes, I am.
It is going to kill
I'm
us.
just not. It's not permanent. It's just to tell everyone not to sit on it. That is my
just for right now,
intention.
just for the moment.
Oh,
Like it's made out of the dust or something.
Yeah, I can change a color on a thing.
You do that.
It was just like a flat image.
Yeah, it's just a flat. It's. I can with mold earth. I can change. I'm not changing the stone at all. It's. You can cause shapes, colors, or both to appear on dirt or stone, spelling out words, creating images. The changes last for an hour or until
As you touch
dispel
it, it feels very warm, and you feel a slight vibration, but other than that, you do it and nothing happens.
Okay.
Well, I was
So it
going to
does-
sit on it, but it's clearly there's some clear signage now.
There it is.
No, it kind of steers you away. It does feel weird though that everyone keeps talking about sitting on this thing. Like I didn't
does,
want
doesn't it?
to before,
But now it's
But-
in your head, right?
but now people keep saying don't sit on it, and all I can think is like, why? Right? Like so now I want to sit on it, or at least sit someone else on it.
I can tell you this. When I was at the university, my masters took me to go and see the Lantern in Zades, the Lantern of Na. That had a fairly high amount of security around it. It might have been that it was a larger city and more people to look after it and to revere it, but stanchions everywhere. You were not allowed within 5-10 feet of it. So I would suggest to follow the advice of our betters at the current moment and
So you never got to sit on that one, huh?
No, and I don't
bet that
intend
one's really
to.
spectacular to sit on.
Because when someone tells me that I shouldn't because it might piss off the gods, I tend to follow that example. I try to anyway.
Can I just imagine that Irde
Nah.
and Fen like came back into this at this moment when Silas is...
Just Irde's like all the hairs on the back of Irde's neck are like straight up.
I mean, I
She's
actually don't
downstairs,
know
like-
the timing on anything, so I would have left unless Fen wanted
You
to.
guys are still
I
on
was
your way
actually
down.
gonna
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
This is happening concurrently.
By all means, lead on.
Unfortunately, it's directly after you
Okay,
guys left
great.
that this conversation
Then,
happens.
so...
It is true that the best way to get a god to answer you is to piss them off.
That is.
know,
They
also-
usually
also
pay more
depends.
attention.
I'm not a holy man. Don't get that.
I think I technically am.
I would say
Yes,
I
you
mean,
very much are!
My relationship with the gods themselves is strange, tenuous, and strained at times. But I know enough to not
Do you
willingly piss them off.
Do you
for
think
the moment.
she knows where the lantern is?
she must.
They must.
It's possible.
Well, let's just ask.
We'll sit on the dais and ask.
Honestly,
I
now
will-
it's been exacerbated. There's a clear sign we should not do it. So now when we do it, she'll definitely be upset, and perhaps she'll come and reprimand us.
Yeah, she'll be like,
I
who
will-
wrote on my thing?
I will cast Mold Earth again on the floor in front of the dais. And I will have on the stone floor, if it is a stone floor, I will have on the stone floor appear my ritual circle. And I will sit inside of it, and with zero intention of actually getting an answer, I will close my eyes and go into a meditation. And a couple of moments later, and say, she actually doesn't know, actually.
Well, you gotta sit on the thing.
Insight check.
Yeah. You didn't sit on the pedestal.
You gotta
Roll
sit
me.
on the pedestal.
Silas, roll me a religion check.
Okie dokie. That's a 3.
It's Silas.
It's exactly as hard as he was trying.
Plus 4.
Yeah,
so
no, it's
7.
about as hard as he was trying. He
Yeah.
didn't want one.
My circle it has like the baseline of nah anyway, so it's not even a
It's true.
I would laugh
not even
really
an
hard if
attempt.
this... I would laugh really hard if you weren't even trying and then got to talk to you.
Right.
That's
I'm
kind
not
of
even
why
trying,
I had
and
him
now
roll
you
the
say
religion
something?
check.
Yeah.
Lythun is like, actually, I do really appreciate you taking care of my pedestal, Silas. It's very dear to my heart, and I hate when people sit on it.
You did roll. You rolled pretty high.
DM, would I know if Delthael had given a lantern to anyone?
Delthaniel does have a city, actually. He does have one of the cities. I believe it was Dancewell, which is up here in the north.
Okay.
Delthaniel has a couple of cities, but the major one, I believe, was Dancewell.
Okay.
Was the one dedicated to and built by him. So he would have a lantern there. But
Good to know.
you assume that he has a couple of smaller outposts, as many of the major pantheon do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
No, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna sit on there. I'm gonna talk to Lythun.
All right.
Go right ahead.
I won't stop you. I'll be here to fix things up if it goes wrong. Just as
Hey,
long as it's
Lythun.
not like godly damage, I don't know what that's like.
I know you're not a huge fan of this now, but really, we're trying to help you out. And if you could just give us a sign, point us in any direction, that'd be fantabulous.
Roll me a religion check at disadvantage.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna go ahead and prep my action to cast Cure Wounds. Just in case.
That is a 11.
Take 2 points of psychic damage, sir.
Oh, yeah, it's worth a try.
What happened? Are you alright?
Well, my head hurts. I think she wasn't happy, but she also didn't point us in any specific direction.
I go over to the dais
already
again.
do have a kind of general direction.
I go over to the dais again and I cast Mold Earth on it again, and Glib's head is grown 2 sizes, with just definitely no, and then Glib's head written above it in the stone.
But if it's definitely no and then it's crossed out, it's like a double negative, right? It's basically asking for it. That. Were we doing anything else up here? Have we?
No, I was trying to look around one more time, but I don't think that there's anything else up here. They came in through the window, used some sort of magic to get up here, smashed in, grabbed what they needed, and left.
Yes.
Sailsaba will go up to the dais. She will place her paw on it, cast Mold Earth, and get rid of Silas's
Graffiti?
signage.
Ooh, it's open season now.
Open seating, you mean?
Going from her own traditions, from her own hometown, she will take the rest of her 8 good berries that she has, and she will place them in a pile on the dais. And then she will sit quietly, pause respectfully, and say, "Listen, if you are there, you gave a lantern to these mortals very long ago because you wished for this village to stay safe. It has not been safe since the lantern was taken. We wish to return it to you so that your original wishes can be fulfilled, but we do not know the way. Be really great if you pointed us. Plus, I know you lost that bet with Irde, and, I'm sure you kind of want to stick it to them. So this would totally help, I'm sure."
Wow,
roll me
she's
a
way
religion
better at
check
this
at
than I am.
advantage.
I was gonna say, can I be mumbling everything she's saying in Celestial, just trying to get it in that language?
She's already got it an advantage. But
Yeah,
sure, go
but
ahead.
yeah.
Religion, right?
Yes.
Cool. Oof. All right, that's a 13.
Okay. Roll me persuasion as well.
Oh shit. That one is a 15.
You sit there, you're speaking to a god. This is something that you actually have a surprising amount of experience in for the fact that you are not a cleric. And you feel the warm sun on your fur. You feel the wind blowing. You feel nature speaking kind of to your core. Suddenly there is a profound sadness deep in your heart. And it's only for a moment, very fleeting. But it seems like a longing. And past that, you don't get too much, but you get a sense that she heard you.
As the feeling maybe starts to fade, Sailsaba will say, "Do you wish to be reunited with Spiru?"
Roll me another religion check, also at advantage.
Shit. All right, cool.
We'll let the connection check pass.
That is a 6.
Oh. You still feel very warm. You feel that there is still a connection, but you can't decipher exactly what the response necessarily is.
Are there candles on this altar?
There was.
Like,
is there any accoutrement on the altar besides a space for the lantern? Like any relic of any kind, scrolls, anything?
Not particularly. There are lanterns. There are lights kind of on the wall coming up. Okay. There are candlesticks, but there's nothing.
That's fine.
Yeah. It's a beautiful
problem.
area, very beautifully designed, but not particularly heavily adorned. Which, coming from Na, you are used to seeing a lot more around the lantern itself. Where it was, like you said, there was a lot of pomp and circumstance to it. This is a little bit more humble.
Nice. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna head down to the temple. Head down and meet up with everybody.
Don't ask me how I know this, but if you put a regular lantern on there, it blows up.
I stop. Glib. How do you know that?
I told you not to ask.
I keep walking.
Yes, I'll go down as well.
Yeah, I'll go down too.
Any chance that we catch part of, and that we walk in during their conversation, only because I feel like I'm going to ask that poor person to repeat themselves quite a bit.
Would you just accept that Irde will tell you the rest?
Certainly. I have some additional questions as well, if it's all right.
Yeah.
You
but just so
probably
we don't have to repeat everything.
Yeah.
You
That's what I
probably
tried to
come in
avoid.
pretty close to the tail end. You do see. Roll me a luck check. 2d10s.
Sure. My favorite roll, percentile dice. 13.
13. Yeah. Unfortunately, you see the person shifting between forms. You notice
Okay.
it's a shifting between forms. You do not see what the forms were.
To that point, do I know anything about changelings? Because Liz's knowledge of changelings is, like, there's some stuff that I'm wondering about, but I don't know if Bryn is aware of any of it.
Roll me a nature check, my friend.
Oh, does it have to be nature?
Unfortunately. Yes, finding
one that
out-
I had known socially while I was in Cava. It's quite a metropolitan city. I don't know.
Still probably be a nature check.
Okay, roll me a nurture check.
As you
A nurture.
Of course, that's a 5. Never mind.
You don't
Bryn
know a
doesn't have any
whole
idea.
lot. Changelings are about as common as Tabaxi, if not less so. So,
That's on.
That you know of.
that you know of.
Well, so were people named Edward, but I've met a lot of them. This week.
That's true.
That is a point.
It's
that is
one
a fair
changeling
point.
playing all of the Edwards.
Yes.
Precisely. That would be.
Except for evil Edward. He's a
Yes.
He's a unique.
I don't know,
He's got the
demigorgon or
goatee.
something. Yeah, he's got he's got the goatee.
I love him.
He's from we all know
evil
changelings
Edward.
can't do goatees. They can do
I'm
everything
from
else.
the Shadowfell.
Wait, you call yourself evil Edward? Yes, man.
Edward's his surname.
Isn't it obvious?
I mean, I was a little confused, but with the goatee, yes, I can see.
It's right in the wheelhouse, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes. All right. So you guys all come in.
Yeah, you come in right at the end of.
Irde will tell you about the. What did I know? Oh, that it was like 2 days before the lantern that we know what they look like. They were kept to themselves, and our most our biggest lead at this point, I think, would be talking to Fish at the tavern.
Okay.
Did
And
Amanda
you
forget
would
anything?
mention Riven's attendance, yes?
Yes, I would have. This is more. What did Amanda write down? Then Irde would not keep anything back
Sure.
from.
I have a
the
couple
party.
of quick questions, if I could.
Oh,
Yes, of course.
The first being, I am awfully sorry to ask, but could you show me what they looked like, the three of them?
Certainly, but I cannot promise that I will get every detail correct.
Of course. At the moment, I have no details, so anything is appreciated. I
approximation
am
would be
sorry to ask again.
Wonderful.
It is not a problem. It is actually rather enjoyable.
Oh, well, then by all means, please, if there are any other ones that you just particularly enjoy, I would love to see them.
As long as you let us know that they're not, the
Yes.
main ones.
Not that the people that could be clear separation between the people we're looking for and people that you just enjoy being.
I appreciate. And he turns into Riven, turns into Edward, and Sails. It does look like you were shown kind of a portrait. It does look like a little bit more of a haggard version of the Edward that you were sent after, per se.
He was that guy.
Sorry, what?
What?
Sails just yelled.
And then
Sales, was that the guy?
Possibly.
the height doesn't change too much on these people. However, Thurvin does look a little bit taller and does actually bear a striking resemblance to Fen. A little bit darker. There are certainly differences there, but there is still an unfortunate amount of family similarity. Kind of a little bit more distinguished, per se.
I need to step outside. I can't look at that face. And
Fen
walks outside.
I'm gonna follow Fen.
If I could, I'm so sorry. I'm Aym'Bryn, by the way.
Pleasure to meet you. My name is Bo.
Bo.
Bo?
Right. It's wonderful to meet you, Bo. I'm sorry that it couldn't be under better circumstances. This person who came here each day for the service, what was his demeanor like? Did he seem like it was a devout practice, or...
I have seen many prayerful sort, of all different types. I would not call it that.
Interesting.
Perhaps some who approach in curiosity. It seems maybe a version of that, but it was an odd stance of things.
Certainly odd to come every day for, the better part of a week and not want to pray.
At least not the same way that I would expect, not with the reverence I am used to seeing.
He just stayed for the services, approached the altar, offered something, and then left.
He did not even per se offer anything. He approached the altar. It seemed... I cannot say for sure.
Some might say he did the opposite.
If he
Yes,
is indeed
instinct.
the one responsible, I pray that the gods have mercy on his soul.
Hey, Pete Allen?
Hmm.
Does this pirate guy that you're worried about, does he like artifacts?
Artifacts? Not necessarily. He likes money and he likes killing things.
Okay. Because the thought occurs to me that if the crystal went missing 2 days before the raid, I'm wondering if it was payment.
Yeah. It's a very real possibility.
We have far too few facts and far too much speculation.
Yeah, it's a
unfortunately.
whole lot of conjecture right now.
It could have
well.
been taken in an attempt to save it before the raid, not be destroyed in the crossfire, or it could have been taken just by desire for something born of the gods. It's
Honestly, the biggest surprise to me about Kieran being here is the fact that anyone was left alive when they left.
That could have been
That's-
part of the bargain.
That's why this whole thing messes with my head.
Maybe it wasn't
Correct.
him.
Maybe so.
Maybe it was just a ship.
Or another ship pretending to be that ship.
Can I
It's
turn
I
to
think
Bo?
well
that-
known at all.
I think
Can I
that's
turn to
more
Bo?
likely than the first.
Pardon?
Can I turn to Bo and ask them? So, I know we've probably spoken about this, and I look at everybody else. But from my understanding, the only two things that were taken beyond sacramental wine, which you could be argued for, were things that were directly created and/or gifted by the gods. Nothing else was taken beyond some wine that was blessed by the gods, so tangentially connected. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Couldn't hear you.
That is correct.
All right. So someone is collecting artifacts, and only artifacts, which has a whole another slew of implications. In all of my studies, and I haven't studied religion a whole lot, but
would there be any immediate reason for why a group of people would be collecting specifically artifacts created and gifted to mortals by the gods?
I'll let you roll either a history or religion check, but I'm gonna warn you right now the DC is extremely high.
Might I also do that, just sort of in, like, I'm not in the room right now, but, like, in retrospect?
Yeah, I'll let you
You're
do
walking
it.
outside thinking about it.
Well, I was in that room before y'all
Well,
came.
certainly.
That is
room where
only
it happened.
12.
12.
In the room where it happened,
that is an
the room where
18
it
for me.
happened, the room where it happened.
Unfortunately, neither of you really can think of anything
All right.
per se. There's not a lot of reason why people, I mean, other than, people just being jerks. You don't know anything for certain. There was a time where wars happened and people would take artifacts just to cause damage to the city, but beyond that, even lanterns were considered sacred to the point that no one would take that even in war.
Like Geneva Convention, you don't take something.
Yeah, like that's just gross.
In my studies, would I have remembered of any of the artifacts? Did any of them ever have powers beyond just incredibly blessed objects?
Roll me a religion check or a history check or an arcana check. I guess any of those three would work.
Yeah, it's all shit. 16.
Okay.
That's all shit.
Would you prefer it to be history, religion, or arcana?
They all the same.
All the same.
Oh, different
We
answers,
had
though.
interconnected studies. It would all,
Yeah, it's kind of all noodle brain.
we didn't really have labels for our classes, you know.
It's like that history/social studies.
You didn't take Arcana 102. You had to take Arcana 102. That was the
It was
only
a
way to get to
constructed
Arcana
major.
103.
You know
I
there
just added that
are.
one.
You know
Ah,
there
yeah.
are things that were gifted
Handful.
and or made by the gods that do have absurd amounts of power, as well as artifacts made by ancient like wizards and creatures of intense power that would be magical and usable and things like that. What, where, or how they are, you wouldn't have any specifics. You just know that there are artifacts that exist that have power.
Sailsaba will turn to Bo and say, "Them of many faces. Did the rainbow have any magical powers that you ever knew of or experienced?"
Other than being extremely beautiful, alas,
Yes, that one.
They did not give us any things of particular power, at least as far as I am aware.
Well, beauty is a magic of its own.
I would quite agree. There is something special about beauty in the world.
I think Lithune would agree.
The lady very much does.
Alright, well, I think that we've got, unless anybody else has any other conjectures or questions, I think that is all the information we're going to glean from here. Thank you very much for your time, Bo.
Of course, blessings upon all of you. And
You as
may
well.
the world be colored.
And yours as well.
Right before we leave, Sailsaba will, "Oh, do you want to practice on me? Probably don't see a Tabaxi all that much."
Actually, that is very true. I would be interested. Thank you for the offer. And he turns his face a little bit and he looks back up, and it's like looking in a mirror. It's a little surreal. It's you if you had enough coffee to be calm. Just to stow in.
Are we saying that coffee acts like Ritalin in this world?
I mean, for an ADHD Tabaxi,
It
why
always
not?
does, yeah.
That's actually true. It's like microdosing.
That's fair.
Anyway,
It does calm us, yeah.
There's a reason I drink this before.
I love like that it would be Sails, but in Bo's clothing.
Oh yes.
So actual clothing?
Yeah, because changelings
Yes.
don't change their clothing with
So just
a
these like
transformation.
beautiful, brightly colored rainbow, like not brightly per se, but like a kind of multicolored rainbow robe of sacramental robe, with small adornments. And Tabaxi.
Cute.
Adorable.
Well, now you need a hat.
Is it a coat of many colors?
I will not sing. I will not sing. I will not sing.
Okay, and then we leave. And
Oh
then...
yes, Sails, can we borrow your hat just for 2 seconds? It's not quite complete.
She offers it the and
And he leans
Silas
his
starts-
head forward and allows the hat to be put on his head and just... Does it look proper?
Yes,
Now it does.
perfect, absolutely.
Silas starts humming Cayman Days as he walks out the, the temple.
and meets up with Irde and Fen, who are outside.
I'd like to be the last person out of the temple. I just kind of drop behind everyone for just a moment and turn to Bo and start to to speak and reconsider and give them a small bow and head out.
Fair enough.
All right, should we
Here we
off
all
to
are.
fishes?
Shall we get something to drink?
since Sailsaba was the last, does she notice?
Oh, I mean, I'm not being secretive necessarily. But
I mean, you probably noticed that there was some, like, hang back, starts to talk, and then just kind of, like, lets it slide. But...
Ven is just gonna be like crouched against a wall, waiting for everybody. Just...
Irde is standing next to you.
Hey guys, it's drink time.
I was just... Irde's about to say, okay, well, fine.
Here we go.
Who are we interrupting? Should we go? We'll come out. We'll go ahead.
No,
we'll go on ahead.
it's fine. I think, Fen, you'd like a drink?
You wouldn't hold it against me if I had one, would you?
I don't think so.
No, that would warm it up.
Then
I
let's
think,
have a drink.
As we're... Sorry.
Oh god.
Did you have business you wanted to say, Brian?
I wanted to say, as we were walking to the tavern, I would like to split off from everyone, hang back, and just slowly split off and go to the magic shop.
Oh, no. No. Okay.
Oh, no.
Silas has stolen all of our coin purses.
Oh no!
He's been collecting them in the night.
One by one. Sailsaba has been helping, of course.
That does sound like a very Raven thing to do, though.
I do have Moogie
Shiny
come
thing.
down and land on Irda's shoulder.
Fair enough. Did
Alright.
you guys want Ipe to come with you? Because she was just kind of hanging out.
Oh,
She's
right.
been-
Oh, she could.
More than
Did we
welcome.
want her?
It's entirely up to you. She's
If you'd like to
awkward
come
and-
along, that's fine.
We're
We're going to do some more investigation, but beyond that,
Yes, but I mean, you have your rounds as well. We wouldn't
If you
want
want
to
to,
get
Aye,
you
stay,
should
we
you're
don't-
welcome to.
back
Yeah,
to
we
the-
don't want to keep
Yes,
you. Thank you.
please.
thank
that
you,
point,
Ipe. Thank you
it
very
is
much.
We just
Edward
like
around.
left Ipe, who's like,
She's just kind of like, this is. I mean, I'm not really useful right now, so I'm just. Gonna
You're very useful.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
very useful.
Very
Don't
useful,
devalue
we're
and stuff
just-
like that.
Fair enough. Yeah, she'll.
Um,
she'll
so-
leave you
we
guys and
ditched
go
the
back to her.
square.
Yeah, before Ipe leaves, Fen'rahl kind of glance at Irde for a second, glance back over at Ipe, like, I apologize for my outburst in the temple.
I think it's perfectly understandable. I don't think anyone was upset, but I appreciate the apology.
While I understand it should be understandable, you don't do certain things in a temple.
Much appreciated. I will give the message to Bo.
So let's go get blasted and talk to fish. Yeah.
As,
I did
as the
actually-
rest
I-
go, Sailsaba is going to hang back and trottle over to Ipe and say, "Oh, hello."
Hello.
She will take off her hat very respectfully.
her head.
Take off her head.
She takes off her hat.
Jack Skellington?
Oh dear.
And she will say, from what I know of Ipe, your parent, they are a very gentle and loving god. I do not believe that they would wish mortals any harm. And whatever great evil that we're trying to get to, I think Ipe probably is not involved.
Thank you. That actually means a lot to me.
Oh, there's a bit of hair out of place, and may I?
Of course.
Sailsaba will very slowly and, slowly noticing any discomfort if there is any, will move her paw around to the side of your head. You might feel the rough paw pads brush against your cheek, but they are surprisingly gentle. A lot of dexterity in that. And as she moves the lock into place, her head will also follow the movement and come right up next to your head. Her whiskers will probably tickle your eyelashes. That's how close she is, and she will whisper into your ear what I'm going to send you in Discord right now.
No!
I thought you were gonna steal her hair.
I will tell you.
I was
I thought you were
waiting
gonna
for
steal
that
her hair too. I thought you were gonna be like, may I?
I will tell
I
you.
didn't think that. But
You are extremely used to people kind of reacting, kind of taken aback when you get close to them. There is none of that with Ipe. Ipe is not reacting in any negative way towards closeness or like anything with that. She is just the same person that you're used to.
She's well adjusted.
Adjusted.
Was that an option?
no, it wasn't. It
I didn't see
absolutely
that on the
wasn't.
character sheet.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
they're fine.
There was like a drop down and
Yeah.
This character went to therapy is totally
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No.
As you pull back, Ipe just kind of nods a little bit and says, "I would be happy to." And the message will come your way.
Thank you.
Of course.
So much mystery in this episode.
And Sailsaba will go off to the others.
Fair enough.
I just do want to turn to Irde. Does want to turn to Fen and just be like, "Are you all right?"
I will be. These are fresh wounds. But thank you.
Of course.
All of you, in 1 by 1 or 2 by 2 or however you decide to get there, at some point.
Do we
end up-
notice that Silas has disappeared?
I think that's on us.
That is on you.
Silas, roll me a
Nope.
stealth check,
Okay.
but whisper it to me.
Okay.
And then I will put it towards your passives because I have access to those.
Yeah.
It's fine. I can just tell you what I rolled.
Sure, if you'd like.
is it bad?
Total of 5.
Oh,
Silas goes,
Silas, where are you going?
I start to try.
Like Moogie lands on my shoulder. I turn. I'm like, Silas, did you want to? Where are you going? Did you have business you needed?
Did you forget where it was?
No. I just wanted to go check out the magic shop.
Without
Have
us?
money for him?
I
Do
don't.
you need company?
Yeah, but why don't
Did
we?
you?
Well, you're all doing the investigation. I just wanted to. It's.
He deserves a break. Let him
Okay,
go.
yeah.
Of course. No, of
I
course.
shall-
It's
I
fine.
do
I just.
deserve a break. I can't even afford anything there, but I.
Do you want me to
No,
hold
you
on to
can't.
your purse whilst you go so you are not tempted to
I
buy
lift up
something?
my very anemic purse that is just filled with so little money and say, I don't foresee myself spending anything there
All right.
unless they
It's
have
fine.
something
I
for an exorbitantly cheap price, but I appreciate it.
I was just worried because if you disappear and we don't know where you are, I get concerned.
Well, that's why I had Moogie go with you, so.
Okay, that's fine. Enjoy your time.
It's gonna
at
be
the magic
dark
shop.
soon, and we're surrounded by strangers.
Fenn's
You're-
actually
you're
like
all-
grinning ear to ear, kind of.
You're free to come, of course, but I thought that it would just be
fine.
boring for you to sit and watch me
If you want.
wander over scrolls and books and
I want to see the magic shop.
I
You
thought
two
too,
go
if you
ahead.
wanted something that we all thought was beneficial, like the pearl, that we might want to sponsor your endeavors. So
I can't take any more of your money.
it's an investment.
Can I roll a check to talk to Alan for a second? Just
You could just talk to me. I mean,
It's very standoffish.
Well,
It's difficult.
no,
to
Fenn's trying
Weird
to
thing
be
about that,
secretive, so I don't
talking,
know.
not always a skill check.
Yeah. No,
For Fen,
well,
though,
he's-
for Fen.
Fenn's
Fen
trying,
it
yeah,
is.
Fen.
Fenn's trying to be secretive, so I want to make sure I get
okay.
that check
You can
right.
roll me a stealth check, my good sir.
Yeah, no, he's being pretty obvious. That was an 8.
Yeah, there's
We're
not
all
a whole
doing-
lot of people who have that low of a passive perception.
Nope.
Yeah.
So,
Alan, would you mind? I know you have a prayer thing that you want to do. But
yeah.
I pull the flower out from behind my ear. You think you could make a metal version of this for me?
Honestly, that sounds way better than my project. Yeah, no, I'll do that for you.
That would be fantastic. I don't have many keepsakes.
Wow, we're really gilding the lily this episode, huh?
I'm so
Yeah,
angry.
When we get to the tavern, I'll go ahead and I'll sit down and make it. You still got any of that giant metal with you?
Oh, I
think we got a couple of
plenty.
scraps, right?
Yeah, we still have plenty.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, then I'll use some of that. I'll make you one.
Fen, go
Fantastic.
ahead and take a point of inspiration.
I'm having so many emotions now.
But yeah,
Now you know what Fen's been doing to me for 7 days.
it's awful. It's hilarious. I get to hear so much of it, and I love it.
Oh god.
But you all slowly make your way. Obviously, Silas kind of sneaks his way away. Is Glib going with Silas or with the rest of the party?
I want to go see the magic shop.
Okay, so
Should we just stick together, or?
it's entirely up to you guys.
I'm
Again, that's up to you.
I feel like perhaps we could use a drink at this moment.
Yes, and
Alright.
I want to see what our little.
What fish might. I would like
Yes.
to know what fish might say.
Indeed.
I trust Silas and Glib to go to the magic shop, and
Of
Moogie is here with me. So
And
It will be very quick. I promise. I just want to take a cursory glance, introduce myself, see if I can
Certainly.
speak to the magic shop owner and
of course.
maybe get something, give him my information.
Glib,
Fans
you'll
will
keep an
join
eye on him,
Silas
of
and Glib.
course.
Oh yeah, no, he's in good hands.
I believe that, my friend. I do.
all right, so those of you heading off to the magic shop, head to the magic shop. Those of you heading to the tavern, head to the tavern.
Sales will join the magic shop crew.
Magic shop.
So it's
Bros.
Silas Glib sales.
I mean, the last time I went to a shop with Silas, it turned out great. You gotta be there for that.
Silas shudders.
Very true.
Oh my
It
God.
breaks my heart, but I'm going to go with the other group.
That's fair. So yeah, you guys make it into the tavern. We will go with the tavern group first.
All right.
Cool.
You all find a table, and at some point, Fish walks over and says, "What can I do you for?"
Well, first I think.
Information.
I need information about a mark.
Oh my God.
He's a fire
Well, first of-
genasi.
First of all, I think a round of drinks for 4 of us. Right.
Yeah.
So, round of ale, I'll take care of that. For the 4 of us. And when you get back, we probably have a couple of questions for you, if you wouldn't mind. Is the tavern busy? I feel.
Yeah.
Actually,
That is another thing, is I don't want to take his time.
it's still
if the
just
tavern is-
about noon. There's not a whole ton of people in the tavern.
Oh,
I thought
we're
it was
day
way
drinking.
later.
We
I
are
thought
day
it was way
drinking.
later.
We are day
I thought it was like
drinking,
at
okay.
5 o'clock by this point.
I do feel
somewhere.
much. I feel much better.
To be
Because
fair,
I don't
it's
want to
ale.
be that
it's,
jerk
you know.
in a bar or a restaurant who's like talking to the server
Yeah.
while they have like 7 people to serve. I'm
That
not
ain't a
gonna
great
do
look.
that.
Not a great look, fam.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
there's
gonna do
like
Great look.
there's
if-
like an alcoholic in the corner, but you guys are
Okay, but but
Other than
I,
Fen, what are you talking about?
It's that same guy from the other place, the one
It's
he was making
Melvin!
eyes. Yeah, it's Melvin. He's followed us here.
Fuck that guy.
Y'all
So it would
catch
be
fog cloud on
transportation.
me.
so it won't be a
Yes.
big imposition if Fish takes a few minutes to talk to us.
No,
Okay.
Yeah.
and if you'd like to sit
Manners.
I was going to.
down. Oh, good.
Thank you.
Of course. And he walks
How
away.
much would I owe for the drinks, by the way? Later.
Yeah. If he brings you a pitcher, I would say 3 silver.
Okay. Great.
So yeah, and he comes back with pitcher and some ales. And you had questions.
So as you of course know at this point, we're looking for trying to at least make progress toward finding your lost lantern.
Yes.
And we heard it was Riven who was in the tavern a lot.
Edward.
Edward. Other
Riven
one.
at the temple.
The human.
Okay, Riven was at the temple. Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
That the three who we believe took your lantern. One of them spent a lot of time here. The human Edward.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
What could you tell us about him?
He was loud, he was annoying, and he was very full of himself.
Did he talk about anything about himself at all?
He said he was gonna be great and had powerful friends. And he was going to do big things, and he'd show them who the fuck they are. I don't know. Don't super care. I didn't then. Now I wish I'd asked more, obviously. But yeah, he was a piece of work, and I say that as a bartender who gives a lot of alcohol to a lot of people.
Yes.
That's fair, Fish. That's fair. I've pissed off my share of bartenders.
We're not nice people to piss off.
No.
One of these days I might have to tell you the story of the Kenku.
I think you told us the story of the Kenku. Right, yeah, but we'll get there later.
Well, anyway, I'm gonna chug my beer and I'll be over here in the corner. I'm gonna go over and start my prayer for the next hour.
Fair enough. Have fun praying.
Have fun praying.
It's weird the number of times I've heard that in my life.
Is it 2? Because then you'd have 2 nickels.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
So he said he had friends in high places. I'm sure, again, I know you didn't pay much attention to him, and why should you if he's an obnoxious customer is all.
No, the first thing was way more accurate.
Oh, cripe.
Well, anyway. Now I missed the good thing. Thanks, Silas.
Did he... he didn't talk to anyone aside from just proclaiming to...
He'd talk to anyone that would listen. The problem was no one wanted to listen to him because he was annoying.
That is very fair.
There was no one whose ear he managed to bend for more than a brief while.
Not that I saw. So I'm gonna relay this out for you. You might not know this being an elf and all, but you know those guys who think they're really big and they have a really small. He was one of that.
Question.
Yeah?
Is that implying that the elves don't have any kind of genitalia complex at all?
That's more to say that elves are extremely full of themselves from his experience. So whether they have it or not, they like to pretend that they don't.
I'm not sure exactly what he's implying.
You know, after centuries, does
it really matter?
Does it matter?
Does the size really matter?
I mean, it's all about that big draw
energy.
energy.
If you live to be hundreds...
It took them 300 years, but they realized that size doesn't matter.
Yes, exactly. Humans
they really had to learn how to use it.
I mean, honestly...
So Fenn's gonna die 120 years before it's not a problem anymore.
Exactly.
Got it.
Honestly...
Before you realize the disparity between...
Aim's a better person... Like, Aym'Bryn's a better person to ask than the Genasi. The Genasi's...
That I don't think any of these questions were for the Genasi. It was for the GM.
That's fair.
This took a weird turn.
The DM can only give so many answers.
That's fair.
I mean, it makes sense. Fen is usually the one being a dick.
But anyway, yes.
Great. Good.
Ow.
Good. So this
Somehow
happened.
I'm suddenly so sad Glib's not here for this conversation.
Oh,
Let's go
gosh,
get him.
right? Somehow we
What do
get.
you
we get-
mean?
Well,
He is everywhere all the time. He is Edward.
He is Edward.
Right.
He's our Edward.
He does sparkle.
He does.
Well,
He does. He does.
fish.
anywho,
I realized it was a month ago, and being a proprietor of such a fine establishment of beverages and mirth, as it were. Was there anything and believe me, I understand the annoying drunk. I've hit a few with bar stools. Sometimes at a bartender's request.
Not my bar stools, please.
Oh, no, you would have to ask me to. Otherwise, I'm going to use my hammer. It's much more effective anyway.
Thank you. Hammer's fine.
But was there anything of note that he might have said? Anything that stands out? Anything whatsoever? And just as a coincidence, while he was getting piss drunk in your establishment, did my father or my father's friend happen to come in to yank him out? And did they perchance say anything?
Yes, I was wondering if the other two had come in. I'm very curious to know about their dynamic. If it seemed like one of them was,
In charge.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were all kind of assuming your father, but if this person thinks so highly of himself, I wonder if he had some kind of client relationship or something.
That is what I was wondering. It is, my understanding is my father doesn't typically do anything unless he is in charge, but then again, he was partnered with a pirate, so...
I'm gonna be real honest. If he did say something, it's been a month. And I get a lot of drunken ramblings. As for the other two coming in, I didn't really see the other two, honestly, so I wish I could help you, but there's nothing for me to know. I don't really get out much.
I'm very sorry you had.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just very sorry you had to deal with such unpleasantness.
Thanks.
While
Indeed.
he was extolling his
Greatness.
numerous virtues, was there if we could even... sometimes someone might strike a pose. Did he look like he might demonstrate a weapon, or is there any...
Did he
He
get into
seems-
a bar fight, and how did?
Well, no, but like, if he's talking about how wonderful he is,
No,
he
of
might kind of
course,
adopt the
yes,
posture that he's used to.
Of a
He's
swordsman or
clumsy
something?
as hell, I will say
Clumsy, we've heard
that. He
that.
did, one of the times, he said he had friends in high places.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like something set on fire. In fact, something did set on fire, and I had to put it out, and it was annoying as hell. I don't know if it came from him per se,
Or someone else.
but it seemed like maybe he said, I don't know if it's a magic thing. I'm not really up on the stuff, but
But
No, that's
perhaps some
wonderful,
sort of
thank you.
magical ability.
maybe magic, maybe,
Maybe luck,
yeah.
or lack thereof.
In my bar, yeah.
We would want to keep you from your job, but we do appreciate your time.
I appreciate the help you're giving to the town. It really does mean a lot.
We're trying.
Aye, we are trying.
Well, so far, you're doing a great job in my opinion, so.
Wonderful to hear that.
At the very least, you gave me a lot of gold. and Really, I can't complain about that.
That is
I
fair.
was gonna say we're not tipping.
If that's what you
would
were
tip,
fishing
come
for.
No, we should though.
Stop trying to butter us up.
Boo, Josh, I heard that. Boo.
As you continue to speak with Fish, we will meet the magic broettes, bros and broette, over as you walk your way into Cauldron. There in front of you is a very statuesque humanoid with pale skin, white hair, a little bit more not necessarily the changeling that you just saw, a little bit different from that. Still looks potentially like they could be human, but like human plus.
Was this the person that we saw with the blacksmith yesterday?
You did not, but somebody did. Yes, it is the same person who was with the blacksmith.
But I know their name, though.
You do.
Yeah. So I come in and I say, hello, Raza, was it?
Yes.
Good to meet you. My name is Silus and Alin. We are currently putting on an investigation, trying to figure out the whereabouts of your lantern here. And I am a bit of a curious sort, so I thought I'd come by and see your shop.
I believe I met your friends last night.
I hope they made a good
We're
impression.
sorry.
No, they were lovely. I apologize for my... Well... Sometimes people can be gruff on the outside.
I know the feeling. Can I look around the shop and see what all they've got?
Sure.
It's all candles.
It's all candles.
It's all candles.
Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
All right.
Can Sailsaba do the
that
same?
is
Either help
a...
or for herself?
I'll roll with advantage if you want me to.
Yeah, roll with advantage. What the heck?
All right. First one was better. That is a 23.
23.
Rolled really good on investigation today.
It's a fairly small town, and it looks like there has been a lot taken. You do see 2 rather interesting-looking stones. You see a couple of scrolls. You see a mace that looks extremely well-made, actually. Kind of fancy-looking, but...
Wow. These are all... This mace is wonderful make. What is his name again?
Celestus.
Celestus make this, yes?
Indeed, Celestus forged it, and then I enchanted it. This would be a mace of a morning star of warning.
This is superior. And are there like little runes just scattered about them?
Yeah,
Scattered about
it looks like almost in a design. There is like a swirling design on the handle, and then going up the swirls seems to be inlaid runes.
This is quite good craftsmanship on both the mace and the runic signatures. I am a bit of a, of course, I am a bit of a not beginner, but looking forward towards getting into some facets of enchanting. Do you have any pointers for someone who is just beginning to get started?
Take your time. Practice often. Read books and avoid fire until at least your 3rd or 4th attempt. I learned that the hard way.
Very much noted. Also, these scrolls. I'm curious. What do they contain?
Well, right now I have a few scrolls available. I have a scroll of shield, one of mass healing word, and one of compel duel.
Ooh.
Quite useful spells, I should say. And you said there are 2 stones, and these stones. What of them?
Those are referred to as sending stones.
Like the
The spell.
Edward gave Irde one of the coins, something similar.
Yes, his are slightly different. I am fascinated by Sir Edward's coins. He seems to imbow a certain number of coins with energy from his god, something that he apparently has worked very hard to do. These are a more permanent version. The coins have a single use that allows him to one person to communicate with him. These, one person keeps one stone, one person keeps another, and you are able to send a single 25-word message back and forth once per day.
How much are they?
Very interesting.
I'm Glib, by the way. Hi.
Pleasure to meet you. My name is Raza.
Hello.
Oh, this is Sailsaba.
It's a Sailsaba as well.
A pleasure to meet you, young.
We're all trying to do what we can to restore your lantern.
Completely understood. These would be about 2,000 gold pieces, I'm afraid.
What about for just one of them?
We just want to talk to you.
I don't.
Or whoever buys the other one.
Yeah.
Just a surprise
Random
person
chat.
in like months.
New stone, who's this?
Just typing in random numbers until I get a connection. Hello?
Such a good idea.
Unfortunately, they are always sold in a set. You cannot
That's
buy
fair.
a single stone.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna be the first to admit, I don't know a whole lot about fancier magics. Can you, like, look far away for a thing?
Like scrying?
Sure.
Well, yes, it is certainly possible, but it is a rather high-level spell and requires a rather expensive component, if I'm not mistaken.
What is that?
Could you use it to find where the lantern is?
You can't scribe upon an object, unfortunately.
What about a person?
My master often did things like that.
Particularly something as protected as the lantern.
A person, on the other hand, could be done, especially if you knew that person, but I don't have access to that sort of thing, but unless Raza here can do something like that.
I could if I still had it. Alas, it is not a spell I keep handy. One does not often have the need, in my position, to see distant places far beyond one's own dreams.
I do.
Yeah, that would come in really handy.
15 people that I could really use a look at.
I am sure that is true.
Oh, well, it was worth a shot. Do you have anything around 100 gold pieces?
Do you have 100 gold pieces, Quinn?
Yeah, everybody's been buying my stuff.
Alas, all of my items are a little bit higher priced than that. But
Oh, okay.
I will keep that in mind, and should you succeed and return someday, I will make a concerted effort to have something prepared for you.
Well, hopefully we're coming back with a lantern. So,
That would be the desired
Yeah,
result,
that
of
would
course.
be
Or information
preferred.
regarding
Certainly. Indeed.
oh yeah, that too. That's less
All right.
exciting.
It is less exciting, but you know, it's forward momentum. I unfortunately do not have the heftiest coin purse at the moment, but hopefully we'll return with some extra gold in tow and satisfy your needs. Thank you very much for your time, Raza. It's been a wonderful talking to you, and I will turn and leave.
I appreciate you for coming. Thank you.
You are very beautiful. Thank you for your time.
You are very beautiful as well.
Can't hear you, love.
Lost your
Oh, God. Sorry. You are very beautiful as well. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Hopefully we're back with a lantern.
A pleasure to meet you as well.
Oh.
You abscond a little bit and head back towards your party, I assume? Unless you
Yep.
want to pull some capers.
Nope.
Sailsaba
Oh,
says,
could we do capers?
No.
Aym'Bryn isn't with you. Aym'Bryn isn't with you, Glib.
Don't want to leave me out of the capers, do you, Glib?
No, I don't.
Sailsaba will say to
I feel
Silas,
like if Silas going on capers would cause him to have a heart attack, I'm pretty sure.
Sailsaba
Am
will
I-
turn to Silas and say, Did you have a good time?
Yes, I admittedly I was a little disappointed by the inventory. Would have liked some.
Yeah, 2,000 gold for sending stones? I mean, come on.
Well, I was referring more to the scrolls themselves. I could use them to scribe them into my books, but I already have access to the shield spell, and the other spells I don't believe quite mesh with the arcane too much.
Well, that's true, but you got to see magic. You didn't have to pay for it.
It is always a wonder when you get to see magic.
Does that compel duels spell? Does that make somebody fight you?
I haven't the foggiest, actually. It sounds like that's what it would do, but as far
That'd
as
be very fun.
Yeah, Sales got the right idea.
Can
I could see
any of
how
us
it would
use
be
that
interesting.
spell? I don't think any of us
Paladin
can use
spell,
that.
yeah.
It's a
I
paladin
think it's
spell.
paladin or cleric. or something.
Paladin, yeah.
It is solely paladin.
Yep.
So
none of us could use
can
it.
use this.
But mass cure wounds or mass healing word would be
Would be
wonderful.
cleric
But I'm
spell.
sure that is a hefty price tag.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was good to see. I'm always interested in that sort of thing. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get off to meet up with the rest of the others.
Indeed. And you make your way into the tavern and are greeted by fish and meet up with everybody else.
Has it been like around an hour?
Yeah,
how
I
long?
would say it's probably been roundabouts an hour.
Wonderful. Then, as the ritual is finishing up, I'm attempting to call upon Delthiel to create a giant metal replica of this flower that Fenn handed me.
A giant
Giant
metal
is
one?
it?
It's a-
Like
the giant metal, not a giant.
Okay.
it's a little concerned
Just
for
to
a
be
minute.
clear.
Alan's like, I just got so excited, and
I made it.
I
I made
made
it
you-
this big.
How
Hey,
big
Fenn,
did you
is
make
this
it?
good? Is this
'Cause
what you wanted?
I made 20 feet.
Yeah.
it's
I
like
just- I
20
saw
feet
that
of a
giant-
flower chain.
Oh, I just saw that dandelion from the second Ninja Turtles movie, like, in my head, only made of metal. We're like, holy!
It's one of the ones that you can go into Michael's and find, like, for like the front yard
Yeah.
things behind the picket fences. Yeah.
Exactly.
See, this is the kind of problem that stems from a lack of communication.
And
Doing it.
Delthiniel is
I'm broken. It's
seems
fine.
to be pleased with the fact that you are doing something for your party members. As the god of adventure, he grants you a very shiny, nice. It actually seems to have the colors
Nice.
of the flower imbued on it, so it looks extremely similar, but made of
Man, those petals are
metal.
sharp as hell. They're just
Throwing stars.
razor blades.
Razor
It's
blades.
now a weapon.
Perfect for
Um,
Fenn.
Rise a
Could be
blade.
used as a weapon.
But yeah, it's a perfect replica of this flower. And-
Awesome.
But made of metal.
And just take it back over to the table and I'm like, Fenn, here you go, man. It's the thing you wanted.
Would Irde notice this having heard Fenn's conversation? Because
Alan's
he
not
rolled
being
a 5
discreet.
on stealth.
It's just kind of like, there you go.
I'll let you roll
Oh,
the
Fenn
perception
thinks he was the
check.
knight, so
Yeah.
he's...
He thinks he's pulling a Sailsaba, and really he's pulling a knot.
I mean, I can roll a perception check, or if you would like me to.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
A modified 20.
Oh, yeah, yep. It's clear as day. You even see the fact that they think that they are being subtle.
As we walk in, 2 questions. Did you say you made me covers for all of my books or just my spell book?
For your 3 that you had.
Okay, so all 3 of them. And so second question, DM,
there is an item called a enduring spellbook, which along with anything written on its pages can't be damaged by fire or immersion in water. In addition, it doesn't deteriorate. Would me putting these on my spellbook constitute an enduring spellbook?
It wouldn't be identical. It'd be more like putting them into a firelock box, but it would certainly get you a whole lot closer than they are now.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. No, I will sit down at the table with them and begin putting each of them and like making sure that everything slipped into the right places and covering my spellbooks.
When Sailsaba joins the party, she'll go right up to Aym'Bryn, and she will say, "Friend."
Oh, yes. Hello, welcome back.
Hand.
Oh.
Hand. And she will take Bryn's hand and just rub it all over her face to get the scent back on now that we are reunited and we are with the group.
Oh. That's wonderful. I'm glad. I would like everyone to know who I belong to, in case I'm ever misplaced. Thank you.
Yep, I'm here.
Have I noticed, has Aym'Bryn acted any differently after the temple?
Roll me an insight check.
Not great at insight.
Should I roll against it?
I'll let you roll against it or just set a DC.
All right.
Oh, I didn't know we
I
could
don't
just
know
do
that I'm
that.
necessarily sneaky. Yeah. It's 37. Yeah.
It's like, what?
No.
I mean, I didn't roll great. I rolled you said insight?
Yeah.
That's only a 13, so I may not.
Okay.
And then I would argue for deception.
Okay. I'm
Here's that
going
one good roll.
to give my... Yeah, I know. Well, I was actually going to say I kind of want to give myself disadvantage. If
That's
all right.
fine.
Unfortunately, I'm pretty good at deception.
Yeah. I know
I'm
that.
so sorry.
I could give you a nat 1 if that's what you want.
That's entirely
I've been holding on to a 1 and a 4 all day. No, I'm not gonna do that.
A 4?
A 1 and a 4. Yeah, my party rolls were shitty today.
Hey, they could be good for certain
They could be
scenarios.
great.
But we weren't fighting or doing anything interesting.
You could have just given Aym'Bryn a 4.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna take that away. Not anymore. I learned
No,
my
I know,
lesson.
I know.
Aym'Bryn is just effortlessly deceiving.
Yeah, sorry. I'm assuming you rolled above a 13.
Yes, just barely.
Alright.
So I do imagine like a tiny bit quieter, but I mean, like, there's been a lot going on this morning.
Alright.
Morning.
Bryn isn't
And
particularly
a little
known for
bit
being...
more startled at Sales' approach than usual.
Yeah, no, that just I felt like just the reaction to sales was interesting. All right.
Well, we didn't do any capers.
Were you
No,
expecting
that's good
Oh,
to
I'm
know.
so relieved.
capers?
We didn't.
Alright.
So
You can trust silence.
I assume they tell us everything that Fish
Yeah.
said.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely.
All right.
Is Fish
So-
has Fish gone back to wherever he was before?
Yeah, just
Is he
circulating.
near us? I
the-
guess is my question.
He's in the like general area. He seems to be just busying himself with cleaning and making sure everything's kind
So-
of in place for the day.
Our leads are the same as they were before we came, yes? The
More or
southwest,
less.
going
Yeah.
to the southwest,
Mm-hmm.
checking out the caves, checking out the towns in that surrounding area.
I did have one thing to add.
Sure.
Someone a day or so ago had asked me if I was looking for something myself. Before I was suddenly looking for 14 things alongside Sailsaba. And I was. And it kind of seems like we may have run into it, coincidentally enough. One for all being in the place where we're supposed to be, I suppose. But I don't think the rainbow theft is an isolated incident. I think it is a pattern of behavior, and I think it was definitely Riven who took it.
And what makes
So
you
I
all
think
this?
that... Pardon?
Would I be able to roll a history check just from anything that I might have heard about Riven? Would I be able to confirm that for AIM at all?
I'd let you roll a history check. I wouldn't say it would be against what you know of Riven, because most of what you know of Riven was hearing his name shouted in the raid on your city.
Okay.
But I would let you roll a history check if you would like to.
Riven, put down that artifact.
So it would be like
stop
disadvantage because it
stealing
was.
Not necessarily. It's
Can't
just
take you
going to
anywhere.
be the. There's a DC that's set, and it would be against a different kind of knowledge. It's not going to be personal knowledge so much.
That's a
Business
10.
knowledge.
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't really have a whole lot that you know about the situation per se.
So, Aym'Bryn,
I tried, Aim. I'm sorry.
Yes. Oh,
Aym'Bryn,
no.
You
I know we met only a couple of weeks ago, but
Few days even.
forgive me for asking, but what is it that makes you think this, and what is your interest in this Riven or this artifact?
Well, I would have been returning whatever was taken would have been part of the arrangement, I imagine.
It certainly would have been desired, yes.
Okay, the main focus is him, but this is if he happens to still have it, they would like it returned.
Yes, it would
Okay.
get you a bonus.
So I was being completely truthful in that I have never been an adventurer before, but I do pick up odd jobs every so often, and this person, who until a little while ago I hadn't confirmed that this was his name, but it seems like all the pieces line up. This Riven person had taken something from a minor temple. It completely. I'm so sorry, but it slips my mind what the deity in question was. I just know that he took something of great value. That was secondary to my finding him. Was my main focus.
So, did you know his name was Riven before this, or is this new information for you?
It's new information for me. I had a description that I was going off of, but I've heard that name used before as I was investigating, kind of following him. I kind of thought I had lost track of him in Liasadwin, and I thought, well, they had figured on him dying in the wilderness, to be honest, when they sent me out, and probably on me dying in the wilderness as well. But since that didn't happen, I thought, well, what we were doing was perhaps more important. And I would kind of keep looking as we went, and
When who
here
sent
we
you
are.
out? When who sent you out?
Oh, well, I picked it up at the, it's kind of like a notice board, really.
Do I believe him?
Quest board?
What town was this in?
In Cava. I've never been outside Cava before this.
do I
I
believe
see.
Aym'Bryn?
Roll me an insight check if you'd like.
I would love to.
Okay.
I don't know anything.
I trust him.
And would you like to DM me either persuasion or deception, whichever you think is correct?
Well, out of character, to my knowledge, I'm not lying.
No,
so if
you-
I've
it-
got anything wrong,
It would be.
please
It
let
would
me
be.
know.
No, you're absolutely correct. I was just being subtle for them.
It
You're
was
good.
it was
It was
Persuasion
worded.
works.
It was worded interestingly.
You are.
I've just
like-
got one of those faces, and nobody trusts a thing
Well,
I
no,
say.
you said when they sent me, and I was like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah,
are you
yeah.
part
Like,
of
who-
something? Like,
who
is-
sent you
loosely
also you
affiliated.
never having picking up odd jobs. It's less that I don't believe what you're saying,
of
and I
course.
want to know if you're not saying something. I believe what you say is true.
That's always
Oh,
true.
certainly.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I
no.
mean-
Okay, then I will roll something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go
Okay.
ahead and roll
I
me
got a 12.
persuasion.
I got a 10. It wasn't great.
I didn't do much better. I rolled a 12.
I didn't. Well, I got a 9. So.
Oh, then we.
Um,
then
I'm a little
we
flustered.
beat that.
Bryn's having a rough day.
a bit.
And there's
Silas,
Getting around.
A lot
Silas,
of-
Silas won't pursue it.
yeah.
Beyond that,
You don't know for
Look,
sure
I am-
he's lying, but you don't know for sure he's telling the truth either. It's just
Okay.
kind of a little.
I'm just going to say, I think as a party we do want to help each other.
Yeah.
And,
course.
And your
Whatever.
guy. By all means, Irde, I apologize. I stepped.
Oh, it's fine. We want to help each other, and
Yes.
obviously you're included in that. So, whatever you.
Well,
want
to be
say.
perfectly honest, I mostly took this job because I wanted to leave the city. I'd never left before. And as I say, the people who wanted to find him had kind of assumed because he'd fled outside the lanterns, ostensibly by himself, that he wasn't going to make it very far. And I was either going to recover, his corpse and hopefully this item, or nothing. So I feel like whatever he's involved in might be a bit more pressing than returning him necessarily. I just wanted to mention, because there had been some conjecture going around, I don't think that he stole this on a whim or out of some kind of kleptomania. I think that he's taking artifacts of religious significance to some end. And I don't know if the lantern is an extreme example of that, or if it's unrelated and this is his own hobby for some other end. But I felt it before mentioning.
What was the artifact that he stole beforehand?
I don't know, honestly. I didn't have a lot of information. Again, I was sent to find him specifically, more of a kind of like catch him and bring him to his just punishment sort of.
Well, I can't think of any artifacts with religious symbol or religious importance more than lanterns.
No, definitely. I just don't know, like, the lantern seems like such an escalation that I'm not sure if the aim is the same or not.
Your
Yeah, that's fair.
employers seem very mysterious. They didn't give you a name, they hardly gave you a description, and you don't know the item you're looking for.
Well, no, they didn't
Sounds like
need me
all
to
of my
find the
cases,
item.
to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I understand that, but you
I was
didn't
given
know
a
his
very
name.
comprehensive... No, but they didn't know his name. He was a thief. They gave me the description that they had based
Yes.
on witnesses.
Fair.
So I had all the information that they had, but only about this person. And they loosely told me he stole something from this temple. I really am trying to be forthcoming.
Oh no, this is this
it's
is
good
more.
information.
I wish you had better employers.
Regardless,
Well,
it gives me an idea. Fen, let me see that flower again.
The metal one?
Yeah,
or
the one I just gave you. Yeah, hand that back. I happen to be really good at making things that look like artifacts. If we are worried about not being able to catch up to these people, if we can figure out a general direction in which they're going, if we can get to the same town that they're in, I think we can draw them out by doing this exact sort of
Bait
thing.
them.
And if they're playing the same gambit of having a ship come to each town, they'd be making their way by foot through the area, waiting for the ship to come to the next town where an artifact or a lantern is, running the same
Perhaps.
job, and getting away with it because no one's going to stop that pirate ship and no one's going to be able to find them. We need to get to the next town. We need to get to the next area where there is a significant artifact. We need to cut them off.
There are 2 towns to the southwest of here.
The larger one is Shandowin, right?
Shandwin, yes.
Is that
Which
a
one is
believe
a port?
so, yeah.
There's no other major cities in that way, but are there any, like, small villages?
There'd be a
Well,
couple
this
of
wasn't-
mean,
there'd be a couple of smaller villages, but not port cities.
with
Port,
lanterns?
Port Cova isn't a large town either. I mean,
No,
Shandowin is
well,
our
that's-
next best bet.
I would agree, and yes, a port town, because if they want to have a pirate dry them out.
They're taking
that's
it,
true.
and it'll take the pirate ship significantly longer to get around the arms of Northern Turban.
Yes.
I still think maybe we should check out those caves on the way, just in case.
I don't see any harm in
I
it. I mean,
agree.
it will, even if it takes them 2 weeks to get to the next town, it'll take a pirate ship several
Much
weeks to
longer,
get across.
yeah.
I
Especially
wouldn't mind
wine.
go in a cave.
Well, given the amount of
true.
time they have on us, I agree with all of that, but I do think we should set out tonight.
But Sales has a very good point, and so does Silas. If they, for example, are planning to use the same strategy to hit another place with a lantern, they have, a month and a half, maybe, for the ship to arrive. They do
Yes.
have to find somewhere to hide out in the interim.
Yeah, people are gonna notice if you bring a lantern into a town. You gotta keep it somewhere.
So, we
It's
may
doubly
have to-
protected.
We may have to work with some speed, as we all said, they have a month on us. But perhaps the caves could be a place to hide out until they're ready, and then we head toward Shandwin.
I think this all became much more doable.
I
think so.
would concur. Fen's actually gonna, after he empties the cup, he's just gonna slide it away from himself.
I had one other question. Do we want to... I kind of scribbled a note when we first saw those monsters earlier because I was kind of expecting to die.
Yes.
Now that we're not immediately in that kind of danger, should we write a more comprehensive report to the people who sent us to
Yes,
tell them what
let's
we know
do.
so far
I
in
believe that
case
would be
we
very
do,
helpful.
not come back? Or
Yes, let's
Or are detained
send a
for
letter off
longer.
if we can.
I agree.
I am not gifted in the. I mean, I'm literate, but I mean, I don't write the best letters. So perhaps I'll take out one of the pieces of whatever, the paper birds, and I'll hand it to Silas, Irde.
Okay.
I'll put it between the
I'm
two
sure
of
either one of us can figure out something to
It
write.
would be fine, yeah.
them. Okay, yes, please, could one of you, who's much more eloquent than myself, please, maybe you can write a summary, and if you write the name of one of the people that we spoke to at the Heroes Hall back in Liacidwin, we can give them the report. I know that the town masters are speaking to each other, but if word hasn't gotten back to Heroes Hall yet, I feel like that's part of what we should do.
Yes, I agree.
So I feel like I'm going on and on.
I think we
No,
can
no,
do
no.
that,
It's, I
absolutely.
don't think you're going on at all. So
Silas, let them know that the raiding party that burnt down Vertus Silvum, let them know that that raiding party's involved.
Okay.
And as you start to jot down these notes, taking in everything that you've had for today, we will draw to the close of our session.
Nice.
Just in time.
With a
just in
shattering clang, the section ends.
With a shattering clang and lots of information to digest. Thank you all for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again. Join us in our Discord. Don't forget to tag all of your fan art posts with hashtag.
We love the fan art.
UST fan art. We look forward to seeing it. We absolutely love it. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we will
Thank
see you next
you.
week.
Bye.
Next year.
Next year.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Holy cow.
2021.
Happy New
Finally.
Year, everyone.
happy
Yeah.
New Year, guys.
Happy New Year. Thank you.